Right now, what I'm watching is why they left before. And this was last year because of the FCK drama. And I don't know if you know about the FCK. It's a Discord server. Pedophiles were in there. DoodleTones knew the whole time, pretending like they didn't, got caught. And this is them being asked to leave. Recently, however, she's getting canceled again, this time permanently. An old video in 2021 got resurfaced where she had not only defended a self-admitted child groom, but convinced the victims of the kids who were groomed by the guy who admitted that he was grooming them into apologizing to their groomer. She got confronted in a call last week with LioChuuli, and I'll go over that after this, honestly, because that's the big thing.
Well, I understand you're upset, and that's why I'm trying to keep level with you. But
should not be using kid gloves with this fucking person. Number one, shouldn't be using kid gloves because that might fucking turn them on. Number two, they don't fucking deserve it.
A lot of harm.
So this is the video in which she defended the pedophile. And at first I was thinking, you know, we have to go over GeorgeRaccoon's statement, but thank God we don't, because in Doodles' own video, she literally shows him admitting to doing it, and she acknowledges that he admitted to doing it.
George had blown up in their DMs with a lot of concerning self-destructive messages, and blatantly admitted to grooming Leo.
Case closed. Why the fuck is there 29 minutes left of this fucking video?
Wow.
Yeah, case closed. Wow.
Seem rather damning, right?
Wow, yeah.
Now, mind you, I'm not an expert. I should get that out of the gate.
You're a high school dropout. I would imagine you're not a fucking expert.
Merely giving. Did George know that these images made you uncomfortable? Did you tell him they did?
Are you fucking kidding me? What? Yes, it's the miner's fault. This is the part that I'm playing. It's the miner's fault. Doodle is so incredibly lucky that people stopped fucking watching them. Watching the shit that they were doing.
Says then one day he just hit me up and told me he made a drawing without my knowledge or permission. He had drawn my OC Leo acting out the Del Code of Sheriff Rank. This image has been lost due to George removing his accounts, but I have screenshots of him admitting to it.
Forgot to mention that in your video, didn't you, Suzy?
Like, if he didn't call it a kink, it would be entirely harmless.
It was on his innocent. Oh my god, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. He can say until he's blue in the face that it is not his fetish. He is involving it and pairing it with something that he is openly fetishistic about.
Sexual pleasure.
Wow. How does DoodleTones know so many pedophiles, and why do they keep defending them?
I know there's nothing I can say that will convince you that this is fucking extortion!
Okay, you're just being ridiculous. I'm not asking for any of your personal information.
Where do I even start? Does anybody even know who DoodleTones is? All the 6 people that are here now, I guess. Dude, how the fuck do we even introduce this fucking person? They're basically like a slideshow commentary person. We're gonna get very familiar with them. They use a oh no, I have a thing. Okay. They were born in 1997. Okay. They're a male to female trans person. They have a long history in the slideshow commentary scene. They beefed with Medicare, and that's what got them in the spotlight. But after that, honestly, it kind of died down. They flew under the radar. Their name started to pop up again around in like 2019-ish when they were like getting closer to the ACC, which was a growing community that was like creep show art people and whatever the fuck. That name might be familiar. They were a part of a lot of Discord servers. And a lot of fucky shit happened in those Discord servers. And in the off chance that someone who's following other DoodleTones stuff, I'm not in the in group where all the people are like digging into like the CloudPalace. I have no idea what the fuck is going on there. That's basically it. They defended pedophiles multiple times. And I think well, here's the hook. So last week they basically got kicked out of their own little community that there used to be such a big name in, because was it 2021? In 2021, they made a video defending a fucking guy who was actively grooming multiple minors. And that video apparently because DoodleTones was friends with a bunch of people, a bunch of other like more talented people. They took her word for it, and this guy was let back into the community. And the victims of the predator came forward to be like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?" Those kids got fucking shat on in the comment section of that fucking video. This guy was let back in, and guess what he fucking did? He went right back to grooming kids. He went right back to fucking grooming kids again. What? So after people found that out, they're basically totally and entirely kicked the fuck out, and they deleted their fucking YouTube channel. Not for the reasons that you might think. They deleted their YouTube channel because they made a deal with someone that, hey, I'll let you guys look into my shit. Like, it happened with LioChuuli, dude. Where the fuck? There's so many glove shittos. Nobody knows who the fuck I'm talking about. Nobody knows who the fuck I'm talking about, dude. But this person was getting investigated. DoodleTones was getting investigated by some commentary people, like art commentary people. And she had said, DoodleTones, she had said that she wanted to be open and honest. So, and that she would hand her channel off to them so they could go and scour through deleted videos or unlisted videos, you know, to do a proper investigation on her. And she accidentally, quote unquote, accidentally deleted her entire fucking YouTube channel. So whoops, you guys can't look into my shit anymore because I deleted my whole ass shit. The RCC drama is pretty crazy. I've been familiarizing myself with it for the past like week or two. Oh my fucking god. The whole FCK thing is like a... I mean, I feel like the best way to really like branch into these individuals is to talk about the FCK, but fuck, dude, it is so fucking confusing. It is so fucking confusing. Because then you got to talk about Fuchsia Butters and fucking, you got to talk about Toby Majestic, and then you got to talk about fucking Toasty Vanilla. You got to talk about Toasty Vanilla and shit. Oh my fucking god, dude. This isn't going to be like a segment or anything. This is just going to be me. It's basically... I baited you into watching a research stream, really. Also, they said this. This was really funny.
Are you fucking for real? There's only the human race. Great logic. I guess I can call black people...
Okay, yeah. Let's start with them initially leaving, because I completely forgot why. Because this isn't the first time that they left. They got kicked out before because of their shit with the FCK. Old ass shit, yeah. I know. Okay, so the context behind this is that DoodleTones right here, the person who drew art of themselves leaving the community very ceremoniously, even though no one really gave a fuck. There was a server called the FCK, and TLDR on that, it was full of a bunch of art commentary people like DoodleTones, and these were people that went after and heavily bashed other smaller creators or creators of varying size, I will say. You know, sometimes they did punch above a little bit. Lambasting people, criticizing people for being bigots, mean, cruel, and attacking kids or whatever the fuck, you know, just being bullies on the internet. And then meanwhile, in the server, the FCK, there was like minors were being groomed right in front of people, and no one said anything, and no one did anything. And some people even played along with it and downplayed it. And then after, when it sounded like stuff was getting leaked, everyone started panicking, everyone started sweeping, everyone started deleting shit. The fucking roaches went to go scatter, dude.
Kind of dreaded logging back in to upload this, but I've been working on rectifying the...
That's what they sound like also.
...assery I've demonstrated up to this point. And part of that was talking to Laka again yesterday.
Another fucking glove shit. Okay, so Laka was someone who Akumu, and Akumu is the guy who spearheaded the investigation in the FCK. He worked... Laka and Akumu worked together to expose the FCK.
I'll play what was said to me.
This as a segment? It's not going to be a segment.
I finished saying what I want to say, but Laka told me that the FCK victims felt hurt by what I've had to say and what I've done.
Oh, yeah, true. Okay, so... Yeah. So Doodles was basically asked to leave, and we'll see this throughout the fucking video. Doodles was basically asked to leave because Doodles actively protected and swept for a lot of these groomers and shit like that, and lied about not knowing that shit was going on. This is like a detail that's like constantly overlooked with DoodleTones, is that in that server, Doodle likes to sell the narrative that they had no idea that minors were being spammed porn and being groomed and all this kind of shit. She likes to pretend and sell that fucking narrative. There was a chat in that Discord specifically dedicated to this artist named Slmers. Slmers was like 15 at the time, and this was in 2019. Slmers was 15 at the time, dude. And she fucking there was an NSFW chat dedicated to her for her to post her art and other people post porn and shit like that. This was a chat. This was a chat dedicated to a fucking minor, NSFW. Doodles had posted in that chat. What? Now, it was just her posting a little innocent artwork that she was working on, but she posted in the NSFW chat dedicated to a fucking minor, and she knew who Slmers was. So her saying, I didn't know this was going on, is a fucking lie, and I'm pretty sure she will say and assert this in this call that she's about to show with Laka.
And their request of me is to step away, at the very least for a long time. And
she ended up coming back like a little less than a year later.
go and get therapy. And so I figured I would allow this to be explained because I don't know when or even if I'm coming back. And it's not really fair.
And I shit you not, bro. I shit you not. Dude, it's so fucking funny. As soon as this fucking bitch decides to be like, it's been long enough. The victims of multiple predators that I tried to protect are completely over it. It's time for me to come back, baby. As soon as she comes back, her Discord server called the CloudPalace gets investigated and leaked, and a whole lot of shit and stuff is still coming out about the CloudPalace. I don't know exactly what happened in it, but there was a lot of not only was there a lot of shit talking, but there was like organized like psyops in that fucking Discord to try and attack some of the villains of the art commentary community, or villains of the slideshow commentary community, but like trying to op people, organizing ops. And then simultaneously, at the same time as people are investigating the CloudPalace, someone finds this old fucking video this bitch made defending that guy that I mentioned earlier, that fucking predator that she tried to bring back into the community after he fucking admitted to fucking grooming these children. She brought this guy back, made the victims apologize to their fucking groomer, and people found that out. And so that's what happened. That's what caused the crash out. Like last week, so, or 2 weeks ago, but
those who will want
it's
to
so
know why.
fucking funny, dude.
But I've done too much damage already, and I'm sorry. Again, I'll let the call do the rest of the explaining for me, but I would like to disclaim first that I was rather shaken up prior to that point. As you'll hear, I will.
Shaken up how? Oh yeah. Oh wait. Okay. Forgot to mention. DoodleTones hasn't graduated. They're a high school dropout, and they're like 28. So the only thing they have is the internet. So I can imagine this is like the entire fucking world crumbling in their eyes.
I won't deny I've been melting down a lot about the situation since it started, and as any of my friends could tell you, I've been rather stressed about everything since it started with
Yep,
the
and
Netflix.
jobless.
So you'll hear me break at a few points in the call. This is just kind of a warning to those who might feel uncomfortable about it. You have been warned. Anyway.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here to hear you fucking cry,
Here's
dude.
the Laka call.
Let's go.
And this is goodbye.
It's only 16 minutes.
Hey.
Hello, Miss Doodles. We're here to discuss the consensus of what the victims want from this. Is that acceptable?
Oh, that's perfectly acceptable. That was actually going to be something I was going to ask.
Yeah, that's why this call took a little bit. I was getting the consensus from some of the victims
Scroll up. I
that
see what you're saying.
what they
Scrolling.
want going forward from this because I'm trying to
I'm kind of 50-50 on the Andy Pants shit. Like, should his site be mass flagged? No, I don't think so. Twitter age restricted his account. Well, good. Well, his account should be fucking age restricted. The shit he's posting is insane.
get an
yeah.
understanding what they all want out of this. And so
Mhm.
I got the consensus. One of the consensus is therapy is what they want happen because they do think that you could like they don't. This is not for a derogatory way. This is just it's for your own benefit. They do agree therapy is probably the best option here. Another thing is I've asked all quite a bit of their thoughts on this.
People were too fucking nice to this fucking bitch, dude. They were too fucking nice. Dude, she was actively fucking protecting these fucking people, right? Like, you have to understand, she never groomed anybody, but she protected and enabled those fucking people into doing that multiple fucking times. Now, granted, people didn't know about the GeorgeRaccoon, which is the groomer she tried to bring back into the community. Granted, people didn't know about this at this time of the recording, but even her involvement, just the fucking lying, dude. I didn't know anything. Fuck off, dude. It's so stupid. Too fucking nice to this bitch.
The main consensus is you probably should leave your platform for a hiatus for a time being while you go to therapy and work on yourself. That is the main consensus is like a hiatus at bare minimum to go work upon the therapy and any issues. That is the main consensus. There are some
Dude, what?
victims that do want you to leave, but the main general ones from some the others is a hiatus. That is what I've gathered from asking all of them their thoughts on the matter, and I do think the agreeable approach would just be a hiatus and you get therapy to work upon any issues. That way, you can come back at a later point in a better mental state, knowing better and are more so in agreement on. There are some that are more like because of some of the things they don't want you coming back to your platform, but
That's
the
understandable.
general, yeah, some of them
Fucking this,
are
I
in
can't get over the
agreeance for
fucking.
long
Oh my god.
hiatus, but we are all in agreement that therapy is probably
Dude, I cannot get over. They've been doing the voice changer shit. I shit you not for like years. Like, they've always sounded like this little fucking insect. What the fuck? This little insect in your fucking ear, dude. It's so funny.
the best option to help you improve from any issues, because we don't want you harmed in any way. We don't wish ill will upon you. We want to make that very clear. But the general consensus is you should get therapy and go take a hiatus for some time. And hiatus doesn't mean a couple months. It means a while until these issues are sorted out. I'm just trying to make that clear. But I'm just being upfront with you what I've talked to a lot of them about, because they are upset. They've been looking into this outside of myself, and they do feel some things about the situation. There are some that are very angry, and I'm just here to express some of their concerns, some of their pain, and the consensus
fuck, they
though
kinda
is
do
the
yeah
long
for
hiatus with the therapy.
a minute.
Since you asked, like, what did the victims want out of this, that is the general consensus. There are some that do want you to stay off your platform, but they are not the majority, and I'm just letting that known. But did you need to ask me anything in the meantime? And just
Curious
because
about doing voice training.
since this is probably going to be
They live in squalor. Like, there's this. I could probably show this. There's like an old recording of them, dude. Their entire fucking room, and I saw this. I heard about this before I saw it. I thought this was like an exaggeration. Their fucking room. Well, hold on. Actually, I don't want to dig right now because I'm probably gonna be digging for a hot minute. But their whole fucking room is just full of like empty Diet Pepsi bottles. They live in squalor. Like their room looks like fucking shit. Well, to be fair, my room's no fucking my room's not fucking whatchamacallit. It's not a 5-star hotel or anything like that, but it literally pales in comparison to this fucking shit. If I can find it, hold on.
The last conversation we'll probably have, because if you are going to go with those terms, I do know that you're not going to be
so
online
much
for a little
fucking-
while. So is there anything you need to say?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're
I-
sorry, that's it? Oh wait, hold on.
I had like a whole thing written out to kind of
Yep.
make it through this. but
Shit it out.
No, that all those are fair. I was actually planning on leaving my platform anyway at this point.
I was planning on leaving anyways, so this punishment isn't a punishment. It's more like a temporary vacation. I'm just taking my leave. Lol. I'm not actually being punished. I was thinking about leaving anyways.
I don't think I can handle it.
If you feel that is the best for your mental well-being, I understand your endeavor and I'll support you.
Dude, there's so much shit to pour. Oh, dude, just look at this for a second. Look how much fucking shit. This is just for me scrolling for a little bit. Look how many videos got archived. Now, to be fair, some of these are repeated archives, but oh my fucking god, bro. Look at all that fucking shit. They've been active on YouTube since 2011 or 2012. Where the fuck is it? 2011, dude. Like, oh my fucking god, dude. There's so much shit. And like the stuff that we're finding now is just more or less recent stuff. I cannot fucking wait for someone to pour over this older stuff and find something really fucking bad. Right? And to be fair, back in 2011, they were a minor, but they have a long history of just weird fucking behavior, dude. Wait, what happened? Oh, you read Mr. Gamer's thing? Oh, yeah. I've been hearing about this drama, but I don't know the specific. What did DoodleTones get canceled? Well, right now, what I'm watching is why they left before. And this was last year. They had left because of the FCK drama. And I don't know if you know about the FCK. It's a Discord server. Pedophiles were in there. DoodleTones knew the whole time, pretending like they didn't, got caught, and this is them being asked to leave and get therapy from the victims of the people who were being groomed. Recently, however, she's getting canceled again, this time permanently, because an old video in 2021 got resurfaced where she had not only defended a self-admitted child groom, but basically convinced the victims of the kids who were groomed by the guy who admitted that he was grooming them into apologizing to their groomer. So, and this person that we're talking about, GeorgeRaccoon, she has a long history with this George guy. Like way back in 2016, she was collaborating with this GeorgeRaccoon guy since 2016. So she's pretty fucking close to this George guy. And she got confronted in a call last week with LioChuuli, I think. It was LioChuuli and Chuli. And I'll go over that after this, honestly, because that's the big thing. That's the big thing that I really want to go over. Where the fuck was I? Dude, fucking brain fart. But anyways, yeah, that's what they're getting canceled for now. Oh yeah, they had a long history with this George guy, and in the interview, they were basically asking like, "Hey, we need access to your channel. Why did you delete it?" And she's like, "Oh, it was an accident." In order to delete a YouTube channel, it's like a multi-stage process. You can't just do that. You can't just do that with a click. And I checked, dude. You click delete channel, and it clicks, are you sure? And then you have to go to your email and then the email that is registered to your YouTube account, and you need to verify that you are deleting your channel through your fucking email. So it's a two-step verification, yet somehow it was accidentally done. Makes no fucking sense, right? But honestly, I wouldn't have asked for that because the channel's already fucking gone. And she's completely crashed out and left the community. I would have been like, okay, let's make a compromise. Show your fucking DMs with this GeorgeRaccoon guy. Show the whole fucking thing right now. Share your screen, go to your DMs, show your DMs with this fucking George guy. I want to see what the fuck you're talking about. I want to see what you are saying to this fucking guy. Because apparently you value your friendship with him so fucking much to the point where you're willing to defend him when he's guilty as fuck and get the victims to apologize to him. So I want to see the fucking shit you're saying to this guy. I want to see it. But that's what I would have asked, but it's already too late at this point.
That's the case, because I don't want anyone harmed in all of this. I want everyone
It was
to be
extortion
okay.
for giving
But
her an email, yeah.
if that could help interfere with your therapy and your
Like the dumb fucking excuse of just, oh, the email's attached to my IRL thing, which, by the way, I don't think it would be. Because I think you could, your email, it shows the email that's attached to your account. Oh, I need to close my door.
recovery to improve any issues, then
Never got glad
I
it's
will
commentary, yeah.
understand that decision. I'm just here to communicate what's going on,
No,
and
know.
I do apologize. Yeah, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm just here to relay the issues. And sorry for the. Is there anything else?
You know, I was just going to say because I feel like you also deserve an apology.
Why?
I'm sorry for what I had said in that initial call. I'm sorry that I kind of just played it off as if nothing happened. I'm sorry that I was dishonest and that.
I know, yeah, I know what she's referring to. She's referring to basically lying. During the initial investigation of the FCK, she fucking lied multiple times. Yep.
You know, if you felt like I had lied to you, then I.
If you felt... This is why I hate this fucking bitch. If you felt like I lied. No, Doodle. It was a lie. Okay? You knew what the truth was, and you decided to tell them the not truth. That's a lie. That's what we call a lie.
Sorry that I lied to you.
Sorry that I lied to... It's, oh my god, so wishy-washy, hand-wavy.
I'm sorry. I want to apologize to those victims.
She never did directly apologize, if I recall.
I didn't.
I don't know
Take
for
a
sure,
moment to
but...
breathe. Take a moment to breathe. All right. I don't
Oh my
want.
god.
You don't.
And the fact is that the therapy
Just
session too, it's like a little therapy session for her too. She gets to fucking cry victim when she is the one who fucked up. No, you should get berated. You should get fucking berated for this.
Breathe. It's all right.
Like it would be one thing if you were in that Discord server and shit like that and you didn't do anything about it. It's another thing to lie to protect your ass, right? And it's not just that too. She was also lying on behalf of the groomers too. She was like, well, that's just kind of what people did in the server. I didn't know there was any minors in there. Blah, blah, blah. It wasn't obvious to me. It was obvious to everybody in that server that there were fucking minors. They joked about it. They joked about minors being in the fucking server, right? No.
Just breathe. Just sort out your thoughts a bit. So, because I am gonna relay what's being said, and I do want you to be able to get out what you need
Why
to
is my
say.
hand on fire?
So just take a minute to breathe. Grab some water if you need to. It's all right. I don't have a gun to your head. It's all good.
No, but I just.
Just
The world's
breathe.
smallest violin. Dude, you
See,
get to
how I
cry. I hate this person so much because it's like, you don't get to cry here. You don't get to fucking cry here. Stupid. That YouTube short you made was fucking hilarious. Yeah, I honestly spent way too much fucking time on it. Like, I should have spent time working on a fucking clipping up a VOD of me reacting to the iDubbbz fucking video, but I just had this idea of doing that, and I decided to draw each individual fucking frame. That took way too much fucking time, dude.
Fucking everything up left and right.
Oh. Fucking it up. It was the deliberative, planned action that you took to try and mitigate your involvement and lie and sweep for other people involved. That it was not, oops, I made a mistake. No, you got caught. You got busted trying to fucking cover up for this shit.
I mean to use any of the victims
Almost
for,
makes me feel
like,
bad. I feel like to some extent Lio was like willingly, like to some extent Lio. I mean, Lio was definitely lied to, but to some extent I can sort of see like he knew of these people well enough to trust just their word, and especially when it comes to Peaches, especially with Peaches, Lio was willing to lie for her. But Lio's better now. He knows better now. He's a lot more like objective in his shit now, which is good. But yeah,
shield or as a defense.
he thought he could fix them basically.
And I thought
They had ready for a while.
I thought trying to put the conversation back on like ZZ and Toasty would help.
Oh yeah. Also, to be extra clear, she's crying now. Literally a couple years before this was the GeorgeRaccoon shit. So this is just crocodile tears. This is just complete bullshit. You don't actually fucking feel sorry about. You don't feel she's trying to sell the image that she feels like she fucked up and she's crying for the victims. She's crying because her internet life is falling apart. That's why she's fucking crying. It has nothing to do with the fucking victims. Fuck the victims. In her eyes, fuck the victims. I don't give a fuck. They're making my life hard. Perpetual fucking victim over here.
But I see that it didn't.
Yeah, well, that's because the server as a whole needed to be discussed, and there were a lot of people that were aware of this by the time they left, during, in it, and that caused harm too, because that was enabling the harm. And they needed someone to say something, and that's why a lot of them do feel hurt, because upon finding out, that's why I'm just relaying.
Yeah.
Just take a moment to breathe a little, okay?
It's just like a little fucking gnat flying in my ear, dude.
But yeah, that's what they're trying to express, because, like, yes, Miss ZZ and Toasty are vile people, and yes, we are going to talk about them.
So, in case anybody, because I know I have a mix of a lot of fucking people that watch my shit. Miss ZZ was someone who was one of the many people who went after this guy named Ben the Looney. Ben the Looney, that's what it's called. Ben the Looney. Ben the Looney was drawing like pedo shit, basically, and people in the server. By the way, the server that was actively sexualizing minors and grooming minors, they took issue with Ben the Looney drawing fictional depictions of children. Well, I say that to like differentiate the two. I think, obviously, I think the lolly and Shota shit is fucking disgusting as fuck. And it's pedo shit. It's pedo shit. If you jerk off to that, you're a fucking pedophile. But that I would much prefer someone do that versus grooming a real fucking child, right? So they start shitting on this Ben the Looney guy. Miss ZZ was one of the people that joined the dog pile. In the meanwhile, she was also drawing the same shit. She was drawing like My Hero Academia characters who are like fucking 15 and shit, in sexual depictions, and in wearing fetish clothing and fetish gear and shit like that, right? And I think Miss ZZ was also posting. She was posting thigh pictures. If I recall correctly, listen. I've been learning. I'm in the process of still learning about the sins of the FCK, so I'm not entirely clear on this. But Miss ZZ was posting thigh pictures in the FCK and also trying to convince other people, including minors, to take pictures of their thighs and send it in the fucking Discord, right? So that's who Miss ZZ is. Toasty Vanilla was one of the main. Toasty Vanilla was the owner of the server. And that's a whole nother fucking rabbit hole. Basically, Toasty Vanilla was like 19 years old, talking to 15-year-olds and shit like that. 15 and 16-year-olds, which, I mean, 16 and 19 isn't like the worst thing in the fucking world, but it's still like there were people in that server who were 12, and Toasty did not give a fuck, right? And Toasty was actively grooming a 15-year-old. So it's like, Toasty's a disgusting fucking freak. And that, oh my God, and we have to watch the Yen. The Toasty person got interviewed a couple days ago. And that interview is fucking rage-inducing. I can't even remember if I watched the whole thing. Like, it just, towards the end, it was a blur. No, I did watch the whole thing. It is so fucking rage-inducing. I think next stream, I'll try to find some video that hits the notes on the FCK, specifically with Toasty Vanilla, so we could watch that fucking interview. That interview, the Yen interview, I don't know if anybody's seen it, dude. This fucking Toasty Vanilla got interviewed by Yen and Thuman. I was gonna tear my fucking hair out. Like, this fucking cunt had the gall to play victim, and oh my god, dude, it's so fucking infuriating. It's so fucking infuriating to listen to.
But
that's another
a
rabbit
lot
hole,
of
dude.
people saw them being vile and even joined it and didn't do anything to stop it. People saw it and let it
Okay.
happen. And when people did try to talk about this, no one came to help them. They were silenced, they were harassed, and some of them chased offline and
Oh
hurt
my god, what
very
the fuck?
badly. And that's why I'm here, because that they have trauma from this and they're hurt really badly. That's why I'm here to say, like, hey, like, we're relaying the consensus for what they want to do for each of the people in the server. And this was the one towards you, because some are upset that by the time you left, you were aware of the culture that Toasty was doing in that server to kids.
They were.
No, I didn't
No.
know it was 2 kids though.
Wait. What?
That by the time you left, you were aware of the culture that Toasty was doing in that server to kids.
True.
I didn't know.
Bullshit. You were posting in the Slumers chat. You were posting in there. The fuck you mean you didn't fucking know? You literally had to click Slumers NSF. That's what the chat was called. Slumers NSFW. Bro, you do not have this excuse. You fucking knew, motherfucker. They're still lying. They're still fucking... Oh my god, bro.
I didn't know it was 2 kids though.
I didn't know it was 2 kids. You knew Slumers. At the very, very least, you knew Slumers. That's so bullshit. Because Slumers... And the reason why I'm so confident in that is because Slumers was the centerpiece of the Madame drama that happened in 2019. And everyone, ACC, slideshow community, slideshow art community, whatever the fuck, basically all art commentary charged on Madame for fucking over Slumers, her artist. And everyone knew, everyone was a part of Slumers' whole thing. Everyone was high-fiving Slumers and shit like that. Slumers was being pulled into these communities and was openly a minor. Everyone knew. People were mentioning Slumers was a minor in their videos when they were covering the fucking Madame drama. And those were the same fucking people that were in the FCK that pretended like they didn't fucking know that this shit was going on. When there was a chat literally like, dude, oh my god.
Well,
All I know
Slumers,
that's
as I tried to clear up in my statement, I didn't know the age of like
Bullshit.
Mimi or Teddy.
Maybe she didn't. I'm not too fucking clear on that exactly. But maybe she didn't. 100% Slummers. She 100% knew Slummers was a minor.
I did know the age of Slimmer.
There you go. Like pulling teeth.
I do know that you had been particularly
So you did know. So when you say that you didn't know, you did know.
frustrated by that, but when I was in there, I was told that Slummers was not.
but that's still a thing.
What? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! This is another fucking lie. So they were saying that when they were in the server, they didn't know that Slummers was in the server, which is bullshit because they were posting in the Slummers NSFW. Again, it all comes back to that. They were in that fucking chat. They fucking knew.
Because by the time
Ain't
you
no
left,
way.
you told me that you became aware. And that's the problem.
I know what I said
Is-
in that call, but I
Even so,
can't.
even in the initial interview, in regards to the FCK, that's what they're referring to. The story doesn't match at all. The story doesn't fucking match at all. Like, She said that as she was on her way out of the FCK, she found out that Slummers was in the server. So why didn't you fucking say anything? Right? Number one, disregard the fact that you were in the NSFW chat of Slummers, dedicated to Slummers. Forget that. You're admitting that you knew that Slummers was in the server on your way out. So why didn't you fucking say anything?
Unfortunately, that can't be retracted.
I
That
know.
the damage is
Whoops,
done.
can't put the
I know.
toothpaste back in the toothpaste bottle,
And
whatever
I
the fuck.
don't intend to try to undo that damage.
Like, well, I understand you're upset, and that's why I'm trying to keep level with you. But
Should not be
the
using kid gloves
fact
with
that
this fucking person.
th-
Number
there has
one,
been
shouldn't be using kid gloves because that might fucking turn them on. Number two, they don't fucking
a
deserve it.
lot of harm to these kids, and you told me nothing was done because you didn't have any experience. Is hurting a lot of them because you had contact with people that could, and that has hurt quite a bit of them because you talked upon it. You talked to quite a few people who do, and none of them were reached out to. And when these victims were getting attacked, because some of them did come out publicly saying they were groomed, no one came to save them.
Yep.
People in this community knew. Multiple people were told, from what I heard from the victims. Like, even the ones outside of the FCK, there are some people that were told about this. And no one helped them. And that's why, like, I'm here to express, like, that's why they're upset. Because they didn't make their silence, like, their suffering wasn't silent. It was loud. And everyone looked away. Or
And
joined in
if I
with
recall,
silence.
at a certain point, Teddy was also one of the people that blew the whistle on this whole fucking thing. Oh my fucking god, dude! Every time my dogs open up the door, Teddy was one of the main people that blew the whistle on this whole fucking thing. Through Akumu, and as Teddy was talking with Akumu, people were finding out that Teddy was talking with Akumu, and talk started going around negatively about Teddy, and then Teddy had a relationship with Toasty Vanilla. Not like a romantic relationship, but it was like Teddy did art for Toasty's YouTube channel. But Toasty was very, very like pressuring a sexual sort of relationship with Teddy. Grooming him. Teddy was like 15 and Toasty was like 19. It's like disgusting shit. Like that's too fucking far. But because Toasty was leading, Toasty was the head of the server. Teddy got fucked with by a couple of the community members or some shit. I can't recall exactly what happened with Teddy, but I know Teddy was attempted to be silenced.
And like, there's pain there, and that's why I'm here, because I know a lot of them, if they were in here,
Point being, they weren't
wouldn't
quiet.
be able to handle that pain, and they would lash out. And I'm trying to keep this level so you can understand that hurt they feel, because this did hurt them, Doodle. This hurt a lot of them.
Doodle.
And I'm not here to be a villain to you. I'm here to tell you about that pain. And I'm here to tell you, like, because you're not seeing the devastation that's being done. And that's why I'm here to relay, like, hey, they needed that help.
Well, they're not seeing because they don't give a fuck.
I know you didn't know what to do. You could have reached out. You could have done, like, to ponder, maybe look up online something. There's options that could have been done that weren't. And these kids got hurt more and more, to the point that a lot of them need serious help now. This has affected their mental development, Doodles. They're gonna have some serious issues for the rest of their life because of some of the damage done. That's why I'm so upset. Because I see the damage. That's why they can't come in the call, because if they were to be put in this call, they're gonna be a mess.
Like it sounds exaggerative, but like dude, I don't know exactly how to put it. There was a psyop. There was like a psyop to get these kids to shut up. Like they were mentally fucked with, like at multiple points. Like it was more than just like showing minors porn. Like these fucking people are fucking psychotic as fuck. Like it's yeah. I would imagine it would be a lot of like mental anguish.
And that's at best case. And that's why I'm trying to relate to you, like, the harm that was done here.
Especially when it comes to Chuli. Chuli got
a lot of the community
really
knew.
fucked with.
Nothing was done. No one said anything. And the ones that knew of, like, the grooming extent, you know, like, Junkie knew about the grooming. And nothing was done. That has devastated so many. And I'm not here to, like, off with your heads. I'm here to be the messenger of.
That's why I
what
chose
they
the song
feel,
for the stream.
because a lot of them can't express how they feel, and how they feel is
What the fuck? Why the hell are
utterly
there
devastating.
Acadians? What the hell?
They are in shambles, and that's why I'm saying, like, there needs to be a like, if you feel it's appropriate to leave your platform, we understand, but we do feel like people need to go to therapy. They need to take away from the internet for a while so they can actually get the help they need, because whatever.
Oh, speaking of the people that were guilty, especially Toasty, as soon as the FCK got leaked, Toasty vanished. And they were found recently snaking into a fucking VTubing community and trying to do a little name change and slipping into another fucking community. And I think I'll watch the Yen video tomorrow, because today I kind of want to focus on Doodle, not to confuse myself. But dude, I think if I recall the detail correctly, they like they're doing the same shit again in this community. It's the same shit. They're in this Discord server talking sexually in a server that has children in it. They're doing it again. They left the FCK in the art community to go to the VTubing community and continue the same fucking shit. And they got in an interview with fucking Yen and Thuman and was playing victim. like it's fucking crazy.
Guys,
You cannot make this fucking shit up, dude. Dude.
Is a
This person
sign for the
sucks.
future, and they don't want this repeating again. And I am in full agreement of that, because they are scared there are more kids like this, and I'm also of that same fear, and we'd want to make sure that doesn't happen.
I think.
So, like, this is
Some
not
people
us
never
saying,
change.
like,
They're
you're
never
the
gonna change
devil.
because
We're
they can't admit to
trying
themselves that
make sure
they
this
are
doesn't happen
fucking
again,
wrong.
so everyone can be in a better position.
They'll
and
sit there.
Feel safe.
No, here's the thing, because talk is cheap, right? They can say all day that, like, oh, I really fucked up. I really made a lapse of judgment. I really messed up here, guys. But actions speak louder than fucking words. So Toasty was saying that, yeah, I really fucked up and I messed up. Your actions say otherwise. Your actions say, fuck these people. I'm not taking accountability. Goodbye. Right? And even in the interview, Toasty's retarded. Toasty's dumb. They admitted to a lot of shit in that interview that is like, why would you admit this? This makes you look worse. Like, there were multiple points which Toasty fucking admitted that they were angry at the kids for speaking out against them. For a moment, they were angry at the fucking victims for speaking out. Like, it's just what a mask slip. Like, yeah, you don't give a fuck. You don't give a shit. You don't feel like you did anything wrong. You just want to be left the fuck alone to continue doing what you're fucking doing.
And we feel like this is the safe and best option that can help everyone involved. Is that agreeable for you, Doodle?
Yeah.
All
Fuck.
right. Is there anything else that needs to be stated?
No.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I wish you well on your endeavors, and try to have a better day.
Right.
Okay. Smash cut. Smash cut to this video. This is a 5-hour fucking long video, dude. And it's like, oh my god, I don't want to fucking go over the whole thing, but it's like, where the fuck do you even start with this? Oh, I know where to start. Perfect. So this is the video in which she defended the pedophile. And at first I was thinking, you know, we have to go over GeorgeRaccoon's statement for full clarity. But thank God we don't. Because in Doodles' own video covering the GeorgeRaccoon shit, she literally shows him admitting to doing it. And she acknowledges that he admitted to doing it. So it's like, okay. So how's this guy innocent again? Dude, we need to fucking see this video. I never saw this whole fucking video before. Where the fuck is this? This. Yep, this is a re-upload. It's
God, this
30 minutes long.
video terrifies me. Before you jump to a conclusion, please hear me out. October
Okay.
6th, 2019,
Let her
the
cook.
Sledge commentary community was hit with a
Let's hear
document
it.
posted by user Channel Gray, written by an ex-user Leo or whatever, detailing their experience talking with ex-commentator GeorgeRaccoon. This experience, explaining how they felt groomed by George, was the
Felt
first time in
groomed.
recent memory that the SCC ever dealt with an expose in
Felt groomed. Felt. How do they feel groomed when the fucker admitted it?
a typical cancel culture way. In retort, and
Wait, hold on. What?
GeorgeRaccoon. This experience, explaining how they felt groomed by George, was the first time in recent memory that the SCC ever dealt with an expose in a typical cancel culture way. In retort, instead of defending himself, George left the internet, presumably admitting to his guilt, depending on who
Presumably, he made a statement. You're showing it on the fucking... Wait, no, you're not. Okay, no. Sorry, it's all fucking blurry for me.
you at.
He made a statement where he literally admits, and she talks about it.
To most people in this community, that was the end of it. George fucked off, the groomer was gone, and Leo was deemed a hero. However, I wasn't happy, because I didn't believe George groomed Leo.
Okay. Do tell.
I initially tried voicing this belief on a live stream when tensions were high, and botched it all up. I put way too much
Dude. That interview is somewhere in the internet. It is somewhere out there. And she has it. 100% she has it. She deleted her channel, but she doesn't stream on her main channel. She streams on a different channel. She still has that. I really want to know what this fucking bitch said. I really want to know. I want to hear this botched explanation as to why this fucking guy is innocent.
an onus on Leo, who had believed they were groomed, which to everyone else...
Wait, hold on.
I initially tried voicing this belief on a live stream when tensions were high, and botched it all up. I put way too much of an onus on Leo, who had believed they were groomed, which to everyone else looked like I was blatantly victim blaming, which was understandable. I took the massive L and apologized for it, and then stayed silent about it publicly until fairly recently, when I started getting tired of hearing how someone who I didn't believe was a groomer was falsely labeled as such. So now, I finally want to talk about it when everyone else has moved on. So, content warning, I guess. It's right there in black and white. This video will heavily talk about grooming. I also want to warn for mentions of rape, manipulation, gaslighting, abuse... I think that's it. Right. Pedophilia too. Okay, now I think we're good. So, to begin this structural disaster of a video, I guess let's break down what the accusations themselves are. Mind you, the way that I'm wording these is just what the accusations are.
Dude, yeah, what the accusations are, and then, like, let's hear it, let's hear it, let's hear it, let's hear it.
Obviously, I'll be spending the rest of the duration of this video
I don't want to pause
detailing
Andy
which
too
ones are
much.
accurate and which ones definitely needed more evidence. But with that said, the accusations are that George, who was in his 20s, led an at-the-time minor on his NSFW-ish account. He would draw his friends and...
Ish? If I were... Okay. Dude, I hate not being in this fucking group. Honestly. This like, anti-ACC people, because they all have everything. They have everything set up. So in that NSFW-ish account, like, blatantly posted it. Like, this guy was blatantly, this is my fetish. I love this shit. I love magic tricks. Magic tricks makes me hard. fucking Cinderella dresses make me hard, and this account is dedicated to that. So it's not NSFW-ish. It's like blatantly that's his fetish account. Like, so
including said minor in
messaging the minor on that account. Okay.
NSFW-ish account. He would draw
Oh, and this is the VIX statement? Yeah, this is the VIX statement.
his friends,
Victims.
including said minor in Snow White dresses, which were a fetish of his.
Which he did do. He did do this. It's not an allegation. That was shown.
Who was in his 20s, led an at the time minor on his NSFW-ish account.
What was DoodleTones' relationship with George? They were friends or something more? No, they were friends, long-term friends. Doodle collabed with George back in 2016, and they've been consistently in the same communities because they made similar content and stuff like that. But Doodles is very, very, very familiar with George.
He would draw his friends, including said minor in Snow White dresses, which were a
Which honestly should be something disclosed in this video. I mean, there's a litany of problems with this fucking video, but you would think that you would disclose the fact that you are very fucking close with this guy and you've known him for a long fucking time, right? But that curiously wasn't disclosed. It's like this George guy is getting canceled, and you know, this is just cancel culture. And it's really fucked up. Like,
fetish of his. Send pictures of himself wearing said dress to the minor. This was seen as him being sexual. Would constantly pester the minor, who, should also mention at this point, was trans, into wearing said dress, which was uncomfortable for them. Came back to doing all this stuff after being
wait, what the fuck was that wording? What?
sexual. Would constantly pester the minor, who, should also mention at this point, was trans, into wearing said dress, which was uncomfortable for them. Came back to doing all this stuff after being confronted about it initially. Sent videos of magic tricks to a minor, magic tricks being another fetish of his. After Leo broke off the friendship with George, he had blown up in their DMs with a lot of concerning self-destructive messages, and blatantly admitted to grooming Leo.
Case closed. Why the fuck is there 29 minutes left of this fucking video? What?
Wow,
He fucking, yeah, case closed. Wow.
accusations seem rather damning, right? It's
Wow,
cut and
yeah.
dry. That should be the end of it. Video over. George groomed Leo. Roll credits. Except this is when I scream in frustration at how quickly people were to believe these accusations, especially in
Because he admitted it.
2019.
Because he admitted it. But what more do you need?
A year after the Spockter theory situation happened.
And this is the excuse. So the Spockter, fuck, no, I'm not gonna get into it's basically like a quite situation or whatever the fuck. Spockter's weird as fuck. Probably not a pedophile. That's not the best endorsement. Probably not a fucking pedophile, but a lot of people were running around calling him a fucking pedo and shit. And it was just not the case. There's a lot more nuance with the fucking situation. Basically, okay, now I'm gonna get into it because now I have to elaborate. Spockter was a guy who was getting canceled because he had CP on his hard drive, right? The thing is that it was of an ex-partner of his when he was a minor, and they were a minor too. But he had it on his hard drive, and he just didn't delete it. So, I mean, pedophile, probably not. Weird as fuck that you're still holding on to that. But, I mean, yeah, flash drive or something like that, yeah. But like, I could give some grace and be like, he's probably not a fucking pedophile, okay? Like that's not a case closed situation, right? It's definitely weird that he still fucking has it, but I mean, that's the most that you can say about the situation. And Spockter was fucking completely like nuclearly bombarded as a fucking pedophile by the ACC and shit. And apparently Doodles is using this as an excuse. It's like, look how quickly we were to cancel Spockter. This is why we shouldn't quickly cancel George, even though he fucking admitted it. It's not the same thing as the Spockter situation at all.
So let's go over what is and isn't true within this document, starting with something that is objectively true, because I do want to go into this as unbiased as humanly possible. I won't be able to go into it fully unbiased, of course, but, you know, I'll give...
Why is that? Wait, why is that, Doodle? Did I miss it? She never mentioned that she was friends with George at any point in this fucking video. I don't think.
Give it a fair chance. George did let Leo onto his NSFW-ish account.
Okay.
So, to elaborate, as someone who also followed that account at the time,
Why would you be following that account?
George had a specific account where he could share more adult themes to his friends who were more comfortable with it. There wasn't anything necessarily explicit
But he reached out to the minor from that account, so it's not... Okay.
ever posted on there, I want to assure you, and this was detailed out the gate for anyone who followed there, where he
What?
could share more adult themes to his friends who were more comfortable with it. There wasn't anything necessarily explicit ever posted on there, I want to assure you, and
It was his fetish. It might not be that to you, but to him, it is. It's his fucking fetish.
this was detailed out the gate for anyone who followed that.
I would say it is NSFW. It's a fetish account. It is NSFW. It's not NSFW-ish. It is a fetish. Okay? Feet aren't NSFW inherently, but if someone is like, I love jerking off to feet at twitter.com or whatever the fuck, and you go on his account and it's a bunch of feet, that's NSFW. It's those images are being posted with sexual intent. With sexual arousal intent. That's the whole fucking point.
Account.
What was his fetish? Magic tricks and Cinderella dresses. Like, don't ask me. I don't know fucking why.
As the pinned tweet had this image directly connect to it.
Do you read it?
You may be noticing some other things on here that'll be important later, and don't worry, we'll come back to that.
No, how about read it? Let's read it. She fucking won't. I will. Hello, welcome to my NSFW-ish account. Oh, okay, that's where she's getting it from. If you follow this account, then you have my trust. Wait. If you follow this account, then you have my trust. In this account, I'll talk about things I don't normally talk about or share in any other circumstance. As such, here are some ground rules. 1, porn and nudity will not be retweeted on here since I have no reaction to that. Them's the breaks, I'm afraid. Them's the breaks? What? Okay, cool, I guess. Because they have no reaction to that? So they're hardcore into the fetish of, like, magic tricks, which... I don't know what the fuck, dude. Bunny suits are a fetish of mine, and it pleases me a lot. Magic tricks and illusions, oddly enough, are my kink of mine, especially when it's girls disappearing under a cloth. What the fuck? For the record, magic is something I hope to achieve in the future. Snow White drawings are plentiful here, although it is... Wait, what? Snow White drawings are plentiful here, although it is not a kink of mine. I just like doing them. But he says it is a... Wait, the Doodle said it was a kink. Okay, I'm so fucking confused. I do not... Cake? I do not... leak. I do not leak anything on here unless I say it's okay. Just refer to me as Kumiko when replying. That is all for now. Let the magic show begin.
The important part of this image at the
Okay.
moment, though, is rule number 1. Porn and nudity will not be retweeted on here. So nothing that George
Read the
at
rest.
the moment, though, is rule number 1. Porn and nudity will not be retweeted on here.
Because I have no reaction to that. They don't get turned on by porn. They get turned on by magic. And fucking Cinderella or whatever the fuck. Apparently.
So nothing that George
Well, I guess they said in this fucking thing that they don't, but I guess that comes out later that he does.
shared directly was NSFW. So in that sense, he was
It was his fetish.
fine.
No. It was his fetish.
However,
How? Okay.
considering that he did label it as NSFW-ish, that's
Uh-huh.
still arguably not exactly okay.
Okay. So it's half grooming.
And as someone who's kept in touch with him for all this time, yes,
Okay, kept in touch. Oh, she's willing to show her hand a little bit here. She's kept in touch with him for a long time.
even he acknowledges in hindsight this was not okay.
Okay, so what the fuck is the point of making this video? He himself has literally admitted that it was not okay for him to be having fetish conversations with this minor involving his fetish and trying to get this minor to partake in this fetish. He admitted it to himself that this was wrong. What? Why make this video?
So sure, in that sense, George was irresponsible.
Irresponsible, okay.
Not to the extent he should be ostracized and crucified.
Okay. Reaching out to a minor and trying to get them involved in your fetish is just what? I'm sorry, it's what, Doodle?
Time, yes, even he acknowledges in hindsight this was not okay.
Just not okay.
So sure, in that sense, George was irresponsible.
Irresponsible.
Not to the extent but definitely should have been informed that this was not okay. So with that out of the way, I would also like to confirm something else
It's common sense. If you have a fetish and you're an adult, do not involve a minor in that fetish. It's that simple.
explained in Leo's document, being that George did have a habit of self-destructing at the time, and I think just about everyone
Oh my
who was
god, it's
friends
the zero thing. It's the fucking zero thing all over again. He was in a bad headspace. That's why he admitted to grooming the child.
with him at the time had told him that this was a problem at some point. So him going into Leo's DMs,
Wait, huh? What?
George did have a habit of self-destructing at the time, and I think just about everyone who was friends with him at the time had told him that this was a problem at some point.
Okay. So... Alright.
So him going into Leo's DMs in the screenshots we do see towards the end of the document are kinda on brand.
What the fuck does that mean? What the hell does that mean?
This is also something I'd argue shouldn't be a huge strike against George, though, as we don't see him doing it maliciously in the screenshots we get.
What? What are those screenshots exactly? On hiatus. I already said this before, but serious apologies for everything. I acted out with my own emotions, beating myself up and bringing it over here. Ended up hurting you in the process. Sometimes whenever I feel depressed or upset, my own mind goes to heavy extremes with negativity and it gets clouded with bad ideas. Wait, what is this in context to? Even after we talked about it yesterday about the UFO account, I wouldn't send you any more magic videos. I feel responsible for affecting you so much. He's literally fucking admitting it. Also, charge your damn phone. Jesus Christ.
Towards the end of the document are kinda on brand. This is also something I'd argue shouldn't be a huge strike against George, though, as we don't see him doing it maliciously in the screenshots we
Like, you literally just showed him admitting that he fucked up, like historically. Like, this is a fuck up of historical proportions or whatever the fuck. I mean, he literally didn't say that, but it's like, he's admitting, is like, yeah, this is like really fucked up that I did this.
get. In fact, everything that George says in those screenshots are evidence more against the idea that he was doing it to be purposely manipulative.
Wait, what? Wait. Huh?
So, as we don't see him doing it maliciously in the screenshots we get. In fact,
Wait, how is this showing up on this stream for a second? Okay, it's kind of cutting off a tiny bit. Right there. Even after we talked it out yesterday about the UFO account, the last thing I want to do is not be aware of my own mistakes and what happened. I shouldn't have put you in that scenario to begin with. I don't like hurting. Why the fuck are you still messaging this person, dude? I don't like hurting you. I wouldn't, dude. Holy fuck! I would not tell people that you are an asshole for simply telling me something I needed to know.
everything that George says in those
Feel like we needed a break. So yesterday, hopefully this time arrives. Since I'm probably going to be tweeting on this account about how I'm feeling and maybe you on yours, perhaps we should unfollow each other too for the time being. I agree. See you next time. George, there shouldn't be a next time. You should not be talking to this person.
screenshots are evidence more
Why don't you share that stuff with okay, wait. You are my friend and I love you and I just want to set the record straight. Wait, this is someone different, I think. You deserve that much. I'm very sorry I won't do it anymore. It was not my intent to make you feel uncomfortable and I feel dude, fuck off. Dude, like what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, so this is what she said. Okay, she's saying that to
the
this.
screenshots we get. In fact, everything that George says
He wasn't maliciously grooming, he was just recklessly grooming the child.
in those
Okay.
screenshots are
And
evidence more against the idea that he was doing it to be purposely manipulative, as his messages say that he fucked up, and that Leo shouldn't feel bad or concerned about anything he was saying, trying to reassure Leo that they can move on.
what is this? I feel like we're missing the context behind this. What the fuck?
But did George have any reason to feel as such? Well, this
Yes. You even did you not say that earlier? That yeah, wow, I can't believe. Yeah, this is a bit weird. This is a bit. It's just a bit messed. No, wait, she didn't even say messed up. What the fuck was the verbiage exactly that she fucking said? She said it was like a mistake or something like that. She like heavily downplayed it.
is why this video exists, because I plan to make the argument that No, no, I don't think he should. Now, mind you, I'm not.
What?
This is why this
Oh, he shouldn't feel sorry.
video exists, because I plan to make the argument that no, no, I don't think he should.
He shouldn't feel sorry. Okay.
Now, mind you, I'm not an expert. I should get that out of the gate. I'm
You're a high school dropout. I would imagine you're not a fucking expert.
merely giving my thoughts and feelings on this 2-year-old situation and why I disagreed with the common consensus. Whether or not you think I'm right or wrong by the end of it is entirely up to you. If your mind's made up, it's made up. I won't fight you on it. And as such, I want to stress to not go out and harass the individuals involved in this situation.
Well, they did end up getting fucked with anyways, so cool.
Especially given what I have to say about the situation by the end of it all. One, because, yeah,
Dude. This video is a fucking doozy. Like the towards the tail end, like spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Victim blaming. She just blames the child. It's the child's fault that this happened.
this drama is about 2 years old and most everyone has moved on. Two, nobody, no matter how heinous their actions are, deserves harassment, contrary to the popular
Ironic. That's very ironic considering what happened in the FCK and in CloudPalace.
belief.
She says no one should be harassed or anything like that. In the CloudPalace, she is wishing that this person named Linlin should get harassed by Medicare. She was wishing that would happen. She was praying that would happen. So.
And three, because harassing people is lame. Plain and simple.
Cool. No, wait, I can say it. Then you're a faggot. Okay? If harassing people is lame, then you're a faggot.
So now that I have the formalities out of the way, let's begin with the first part of the grooming allegation, the Snow White dress. So, something to note about George is that his favorite Disney princess is Snow White, and apparently in accordance to Leo, he and George would bond over their mutual appreciation for the character. Leo would allow George to draw their character wearing the dress of the titular character, and didn't see anything wrong with it until Gwen, another character in this story, informed Leo that the dress was a kink of George's, and that George was forbidden to draw anything regarding Leo and her dress. But, hold on. George's aforementioned rules bulletin explicitly mentions that he doesn't see Snow White as a kink of his. This was established
But he admitted it.
on his NSFW-ish account from the beginning.
Didn't he admit it in the isn't that the whole point of like the whole text messages shit is like, oh, I really fucked up. I'm sorry that I did that.
So for
Also, it wasn't, hold on, just to be clear, it wasn't just the Snow White dress. We'll get on to, it wasn't just the Snow White shit. There was also the magic tricks. He was drawing this fucking kid in the magic trick bullshit.
For Leo to sit there and believe something that was blatantly against that established descriptor feels kind of sketchy to me. Especially when
They're a child.
Leo follows up explaining this to the reader that if you ask George about Snow White being a kink of his, he'd deny it, which always struck me as strange. To sit here and preemptively
That's strange. Not him contacting the minor on his NSFW-ish account.
revoke any further discussion on this kind of topic by making such a blanket and certain statement claiming the subject to be a liar when the information they give doesn't match your own feels, ironically enough, like a lie in of itself. The tone of this document is to inform or educate people on your own experiences with an individual you claim to have groomed you. But as much as it typically isn't what people want to hear, there usually is two sides to a story such as this. And without the proper evidence to prove that your opposition has a behavioral pattern with lying or manipulation...
He admitted it. Like, I don't know what the fuck. I'm gonna keep referring to that. He fucking admitted it.
This kind of claim feels more like its sole purpose is to shine a much more malicious light on,
Oh, I need to lower the
your
quality.
target instead of giving out the truth. Or at the very least, a believable testimony, which isn't something you would want to do if your goal is to educate people on a groomer in the community.
Dude,
But
what?
to
I
me,
feel like the
it doesn't
parry
have
just
to be a
doesn't
straight-up
land
sexual thing,
sometimes.
because it is clearly something he finds appealing. I'd also like to directly respond to this, because I find it to be frustrating. This claim would only be valid if we were to be under the pre-notion that George's appreciation for Snow White was sexual in nature, which, as I demonstrated, I don't have any reason to believe is the case, and with that, George could find this dress to be an aesthetic appeal, or maybe an appeal to nostalgia.
I'm like, so I don't know. I know the narrative currently is that it is a fetish of his, and it is a fucking lie. When he says that it's not his fetish, it is his fetish, because there's like a fucking thing where he like admits to it. I don't know where the fuck that is though. That's the thing.
Or
It's probably in the document. It's probably like in his response document or some fucking shit. I don't know, dude.
literally any other appeal that you could look at that's used in
Either
art
way,
and
either way, let's even give him the credit that sure, yeah, it's not a fucking fetish. Later on, he involves the minor in the fucking magic trick shit. So it's like, okay, what the fuck is the point about nitpicking about this one retarded fucking detail?
advertising. Appeal doesn't have to be sexual. This is again unfortunate to this document because anyone who thinks about this for longer than a minute tops could come to the same conclusion. I like to draw hoodies on my characters that don't typically have them and call them cool jackets because they're fun and there's an appeal in drawing that. That doesn't mean hoodies turn me on. Get real. Anyway, then Leo explained
Yeah, it's only diapers.
that LioChuuli George
Diapers turn you
out
on.
about it. George backed down from drawing Leo in a Snow White dress, probably intimidated by Gwen if I'm to be honest, though of course that would be something you'd have to ask the supposed groomer in this scenario. And then cut to 2 years later in 2019. George winds up drawing Leo in a Snow White dress twice. Leo goes on to make the theory that it's because by this point they didn't hang out with Gwen anymore, and George, quote-unquote, knew he wouldn't be called out about it. And I'm so glad Leo
Well,
clarified
it's
it as such,
sure,
because
that's
otherwise it would
speculative.
totally
Who
look
gives
like
a fuck?
narrative was being spun to ruin someone, and we definitely wouldn't want that. But in reality, could we not make the argument that George just forgot about what happened 2 years prior? Leo doesn't clarify
So, if I'm understanding the fucking timeline correctly, George was talking to this fucking kid in like 2 years ago. So it must have been like 2017. This kid was like, God, I don't know how old this fucking person. I know they were like fucking young. I want to say like 15 at the time. George is like a fully grown fucking dude. Like he's like 30 something now, I think. But so this would have been right around late 20s. So this happened, made the minor uncomfortable. He left and then came back 2 years later and is like continued doing it. Like,
that there was any conversation regarding the two of them that would have reminded
think-
George of the conversation in question. So this is again, at best, just an assumption on Leo's end that paints George in a much different light than what might have been the actual truth of the matter. Plus, Leo even tells us following this that George asked to draw the first piece for them. So even if he did remember, maybe he wanted to see if the opinion on the matter changed from whatever.
what? But they said no. So he did it anyways? Like,
Gwen might have talked to George about, since we also didn't get that side of the story, and was instead just told to get it through Gwen's at the time Twitter handle. Following this, there's an explanation of George's self-destructive behavior, before going on to justify that as the reason Leo said yes to everything that George did. And it's here that I really start questioning matters, because throughout the
why? They're a fucking child.
entire document, there's not a whole lot of screenshots to help Leo's case, and Leo does explain that because George deleted everything, they didn't exactly have the time or ability to screen cap everything that they thought was important. And like, okay, I get that. But when the screenshots that you do share are just you happily nodding to everything and getting excited that George drew you in a Snow White dress while simultaneously telling us, the reader, that
Because they're a child and they're trying to be fucking nice, okay? I wouldn't put it past a child to nod along with something like this with someone as fucking unhinged as fucking George. Because another detail that I think it sounds like this is what's being alluded to, George would like threaten self-harm and suicide when people didn't approve of him. People weren't giving him like head pats or some shit. Not literally head pats, but you know, like people weren't paying attention to him. He would like suicide bait constantly. This would be like a thing he would do all the time. So it sounds like he was doing this to the fucking kid. And the kid was like, oh shit, I don't want to be responsible for this guy dying. So I'll just happily nod along with everything that he's fucking doing.
you were
I know for a fact he did that in CloudPalace. People were talking about he like suicide baited in CloudPalace.
uncomfortable about it all.
Suicide bait is
Then pardon me for looking at this whole situation skeptically. Did George know that these images made you uncomfortable? Did you tell him they did?
Are you fucking kidding me? What? Yes, it's the minor's fault. This is the part that I'm talking. It's the minor's fault. It's the minor's fault. Minor didn't set boundaries.
Comfortable about it all? Then pardon me for looking at this whole situation skeptically. Did George know that these images made you uncomfortable? Did you tell him they did? Because even in accordance to your own document, that doesn't seem to be the case. You tell us that you said it was okay before going on your own self-deprecating tirade about the fact that you'll throw yourself to the dogs for your friends. And I'd even be able to give the benefit of doubt in saying that you could have felt uncomfortable about it all in hindsight, but then Not only would that be a lie, because you actively told us that your mind wandered to the aforementioned conversation with Gwen, but also, that's in hindsight. This wouldn't change the reaction we see in the screenshot.
This is just, it's just so disgusting. I cannot fucking believe we're blaming a fucking child for not asserting their boundaries with an adult who should have fucking known better.
Us that would have given George the idea that this was not only okay, but encouraged. Oh, but Doodle, are you trying to say that it's Leo's fault he was groomed? No.
Yes.
I'm saying this isn't
You can't just say no. You are literally arguing that it is their fault.
grooming at all. A very common tactic of grooming
Okay, no, they're just denying it was grooming to begin with.
is
Okay.
testing the boundaries to figure out how you can
He's testing the boundaries of this minor, and the minor didn't assert them, so it's the minor's
push
fault.
past them to get into a sexual context. For another example, and I apologize in advance for using an actual instance of grooming as an example. I'm aware of how tasteless this could come off, but I feel it's important to show that what it would look like had George actually been trying to groom Leo in a situation such as this, since our community actually has an example. So, let's talk about V Omega. V Omega was outed not even a full year after George's allegations by Joni Ruin at Twitlonger. This post outlined that V was an abusive, controlling, transphobic groomer, and I will happily concur to those labels. I'll be talking my experience with them in another video if it's not already out, because I'll have to then. I'll leave a link below to the full Twitlonger if you wish to read up on it all.
Don't
But the
care.
particular centerpiece that I want to look at, of course, is the grooming allegations. Though, while Joni didn't exactly have any screenshots relating to that particular allegation and was much more focused on V's abusive behavior, V sure as hell was willing to give them in a now deleted Twitter thread he was making responding to it all. Luckily, I have the important receipts. So, here's a screenshot that V took of their DMs from January of 2018. You can see here that V and Joni are talking about pornography, with Joni
Oh my God.
explicitly saying that she was not one to look at pornography. By April of the same year, the topic was brought up again, with Joni admitting to sometimes looking at specifically furry porn. By March of the next year, while we don't see the fullest extent of this screenshot,
This
we
is just
can
such a
see
useless
that Joni
fucking
was
tangent,
all
dude.
for talking about pornography, showing that V's attempt to wear down her boundaries was, unfortunately, grossly successful. The fucking creep. But we don't.
Oh, but
see that-
George isn't. But George isn't. But George isn't. George isn't the creep for reaching out to a minor on his NSFW account and trying to involve them in fucking fetishes of his. Yeah, that's not fucking creepy. No, yeah.
with George.
That's not literally what V Omega was doing. I mean, to be clear, V Omega was way more fucking explicit, right? Like, we're talking about, like, not like weird niche fucking fetishes that no one would think would be a turn on. We're talking about, like, just straight up porn.
We're only told that through the lens of Leo, and even through that lens we can see that Leo never vocalized these feelings. So, how do we know that George's motivations are more malicious than maybe tone
Because he's an adult and they're talking to a child.
deaf? We literally
And he knows this.
can't, and I'm
Because he admitted it.
tired of acting like this was okay. Plus, I want to point out that these drawings that Leo alluded to being a source of George's grooming. Even if they were sexual, it wasn't exclusive to Leo, which also puts into question how much of this could actually be considered as such.
Holy fuck, dude. Oh my god. It is not. It is not the literal definition of grooming. So it is not grooming. No, we could stretch the definition. We could stretch our imaginations. Listen, grooming can only be grooming if it is intent. But nobody's a mind reader, so how do we know whose intent is what? Wow, I guess no one has ever been groomed. It's so stupid, dude. It's so fucking dumb. Obviously, it is fucking grooming, okay? He's talking to a fucking kid and being fucking weirdly fetishistic towards them and then fucking trying to guilt trip them when they're not getting the attention that they fucking want. It is disgusting fucking behavior. This guy should have been chased out of the fucking community a long time ago, dude.
I've mentioned this in my Sherman videos before,
God.
but grooming is a targeted action. Sure, you could argue someone can groom more than one person, but when George is making these kinds of images for anyone who's his
What do you fucking mean targeted? Like what do you mean by fucking targeted? It's just so pedantic. It's so fucking pedantic and fucking the what's it called? Semantical. It's like such a fucking stupid semantical thing. It's like grooming is targeting, and he's not really targeting because there's another person. He drew a picture of another fucking person. No. It's like, dude,
friend above just a selection of people, then
it doesn't need to be. The act in it of itself is basically the normalization of sexually related topics and conversations with children. It honestly, targeted, I would say it needs to be targeted in the sense that you have to be directly talking to the person, right? Because if you're in a bar or some shit and you're making out with a dude and like in the window a fucking kid walks by and sees it, are you grooming that kid? No. Okay, obviously fucking not, right? But the action in and of itself, like, you has to be directed at the fucking person, right? They don't have to be a target. There doesn't even need to be a goal. There doesn't need to be a goal, because simply the act of entertaining sexual stuff, it can be enough for a lot of fucking pedophiles and a lot of predators to just get off on that alone. There doesn't need to be an end result. It could just be like, oh, I'm kind of tiptoeing around a sexual conversation with a child, and that's enough to fucking get me off. Like that's what a lot of fucking predators do. That's what you could go and look on like the VR chat exposed predator people or whatever the fuck. Like that shit happens all the fucking time. They tiptoe around it because that's what gets them off, right? They're not like directly doing anything. It's not like they're whipping their dicks out or anything like that. It's just they're tiptoeing around the whole fucking thing because that's what they do to get off.
I'm sorry. Even if these had sexual undertones, it would just be grossly irresponsible and inappropriate at worst. Now, let's look at the spin.
Okay, so then get fucked. You're an adult. You should know better. Boom. Okay, I could grant that. Maybe he didn't intend to groom. Maybe he's just so debilitatingly retarded that he didn't fucking understand that was a wrong or inappropriate thing to fucking do. Okay, cool. So it was a gross, inappropriate fucking action. Should have never fucking happened. Get fucked. What's the fucking problem?
Off to this allegation. George bought his own Snow White dress to wear, posted pictures on his NSFW-ish Twitter, and alleged
So it sounds like it's a fucking
he
fetish.
gave Leo some pictures of his own while
Does that not sound like it's a fucking fetish?
pestering Leo to wear them themselves. I really don't know what more to say. This is
You know, he probably, here's the thing. He probably didn't want to admit it's a fetish because Snow White is a child. So it would come off as really, 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 really fucking bad on its fucking face if he were to admit it's a fetish, right?
just more of this
I would not put it past him. Like, it's way easier to admit you have a fetish for fucking magic tricks than it is to fetishize, like, borderline Lolita fucking shit.
same But ultimately, I won't say for sure one way or another. I don't actually have evidence to back this up. On that note, I also won't say one way or another that George for sure wasn't guilty or wasn't innocent. I don't believe he's a groomer, personally. I don't think there was nearly enough evidence to say that he is. And I hope I was able to make my case clear enough for you guys to understand.
He's for sure not innocent or guilty. Like, what, like, did I hear that right? What the fuck? Try to Tommy Sierra beefing? Yeah, I heard. I saw. Tommy's fucking insane.
Say one way or another that George for sure wasn't guilty or wasn't innocent.
What? He's not for sure guilty, but he's also not for sure innocent. Like, okay. What the fuck? Like, all right.
I don't believe he's a groomer, personally. I don't think there was
Obviously,
nearly enough
you're
evidence to say
cocked.
that he is. And I hope I was able to make my case clear enough for you guys to understand. Maybe I've changed some minds.
I understood it loud and
Maybe I've
clear.
at
You
least
love
put another
pedophiles.
perspective on the involved is having a good day, is making a change in their life.
Doodle is so incredibly lucky that people stopped fucking watching them and watching the shit that they were doing after the manicure video. So unbelievably lucky, because if they still had people that were like A-logging them and stuff like that, this would have killed their entire career. This would have killed their whole shit, and they probably would have never been involved in the whole FCK thing.
And I hope you guys continue having a good day after this video is out there. This is DoodleTones, and time to see what happens.
See what happens.
Take care, everyone.
And so what happened after this video is that the child showed up in the comments to try and defend themselves, and Doodle, on top of all their other fucking lackeys, or not Doodle, Doodle's more of a lackey of other fucking people, but like I know Ponder Sprocket showed up in the comment section. Everybody was dogging on this fucking kid and forced the kid into apologizing to into apologizing, right? And so now, conveniently, I have this in my recommended. This is from the boyfriend of that Leo guy. Or girlfriend, I guess, because they're trans, I think. Girlfriend. This is the girlfriend of the Leo guy. So
chat,
I can't judge their VTube model, okay? And I'm not going to. It looks cute, but I'm just pointing that out. If anybody's gonna say, what the fuck is this? I mean, it's a bit weird. Is this like a femboy? Please tell me it's a femboy, because if it's... Well, I mean, no, even if it was a femboy, it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. Well, hold on. It's a bit weird in the sense it looks kind of young. It looks bad. This looks... I don't like the aesthetic of this. I get bad vibes. See, when I make femboy shit, I try to make my fucking characters look of age, right? Because it'd be very easy for people to just like, I mean, I've had people say it before. It's like, you're a femboy, that means you're a pedophile because, you know, femboys look like children or something fucking stupid. I'm like, that's dumb. I literally make my characters look of age because to avoid that, to avoid being associated with that fucking shit, right? And plus, I try to make my characters like at least some reflection of me, right? And I'm not a child, so like I'm giving them a mature body. Grown-ass adult to bully a victim and apologizing for pedophiles, yeah. But on a side, this model is kind of weird. Not because it's femme or anything like that, but it's like it just looks young.
I'm not going to divulge too much into things that don't involve me directly. Talking about my personal experience as well as the experience that my partner Leo had. Because Ty's pointing it out, let me get this out of the way. The age gap is not inherently not the issue. It is the fact that he was doing this with minors. Ty and I are 4 years apart, and we are in a perfectly happy, healthy relationship. Let me get adjusted in my chair here.
Wait, when did you start dating this person? Wait, 4-year age gap is kind of crazy. Wait, what? Hold on, I'm thinking. Their current partner or their I'm so fucking confused. This person's a little suspicious. I'm trying to think. What 4-year age? Because 4-year age gap is crazy. Like it's crazy when you're like in your 20s and the person that you're dating is like a teenager. That's a bit fucking weird. Wait, I'm trying to think. Okay. The George stuff happened. No, okay, so no. It happened around a similar time. So around in 2015 or 2016, George was talking to Leo. And then 2 years after that, in 2018, it showed up again. I'm so fucking... It's a mist. It's a mist to me.
I am so sorry. I have autism. So that wasn't the inherent issue. The issue comes in when we talk about a certain kink that George had. And this kink was magic tricks. And so I'm actually going to very quickly pull up the Blue Sky post I made last night. So we get, as you can see, this is a drawing of Autumn and I in a magic trick.
That's a fetish of his.
And
when they were 15 and he was 21.
For record,
not a groomer, not a pedophile, though, by the way.
This was on March 16th, 2017. I had just turned 17, 11 days prior.
Okay, when they were 17.
He would then link us fucking magic trick video.
Dude, it's like, this is so cut and he is a pedophile. He is a fucking pedophile, dude. I cannot fucking believe it.
Videos where this one is called transposition of 2 girls and 2 puppy. And first of all, the girls are in lingerie, and we were, again, 16 and 17.
I think that's it. They kind of just yap on about their whole fucking experience. I mean, but that's basically why I wanted to show this, because I kind of skimmed through it a little bit and I saw, okay, they show screenshots and shit. But I'll let, oh man,
Then
I'll
you
let them
get
talk a
art
little
of
bit more.
Autumn in the Snow White dress.
And it's like, dude, no, I'm not buying. It's the Snow White shit's a fucking fetish. It's a fetish, dude. There's no way. You are literally like lumping these two things together, and drawing them in tandem. One is your fetish. One is apparently not your fetish. Dude, bullshit, dude.
There's the whole pretty princesses thing, and you two are equally cute. No, you're so cute.
Like, this guy's a fucking freak pedophile. Anyways, but that's the GeorgeRaccoon shit, dude. And here is, oh, God. I mean, this is like a 5 fucking hour long call. Timestamps. Okay, cool. Thank fuck. Okay, this person has timestamps. Call 1 Suzy regarding Nekokota. Don't give a fuck about that. Suzy regarding George. Okay, here we go.
However, the call on the 18th I'm about to play is where the downward spiral happens. This is where Suzy is
The 18th of last month.
confronted about defending George, aka Horace. I don't think I need to go into heavy detail, as the calls tend to speak for themselves, so please pay attention.
Okay.
All right, we're good for going.
And so the people in this call is Lao Convoy and Chuli, I think. No, not Chuli. Lao Convoy. No, Chuli. No, Chuli is in this. Lao Convoy, Chuli, and there might be someone else there, and then there's also Doodle.
Suzy, did you know
That's Chuli talking.
that George, or Horace, whatever the fuck their name is, did you know that Horace had drawn a minor partaking in what they had explicitly stated turned them on?
A 2-time speed it, or
I don't remember if that was in the doc or not, but it might have been. Probably.
Just so we can make sure we have
1.5.
everything clear, do we have a copy of Suzy's video that can be pulled up right now for reference?
Yeah, there's a couple of links to it in the thread.
Okay, somebody needs to pull it up so we can live stream and take a look at what this is instead of guessing and maybeing things, because that's going to piss off everybody.
All right, because that video goes over Leo's doc. I haven't had
No.
time to to look at that video in
what?
full. I've been spending time with family, but this is kind of insanely upsetting to me, and I want to know if that was in the original doc.
I mean, somebody pull up
Probably
so they can screen
was.
share.
Because I know that
It
that
probably
Saf, because I know that Saf and mentioned that he did the same thing to Autumn when she was 16.
Can somebody please grab the video and start streaming it? I
Thank
can't.
you.
I am
Somebody
on,
please do that.
I am on my way. I'm on my way, people. I'm working on it.
Do we have a copy of the doc that Suzy was?
Why is it frozen? What the fuck is happening, dude? I want to see Lyle's big meaty claws put together this fucking Megazord. What the fuck? Dude, what the hell is happening? What the heck? Okay, I mean, the stream is still up. I thought I was fucking lagging for a second. What the fuck is happening? Hold on, I'm refreshing the page. Oh my god, I lost my fucking timestamp. God fucking damn it, dude.
However, the call on the 18th I'm about to
To Autumn when she was 16.
Can somebody please grab the video and start streaming it? I can't. Somebody please do that.
I am on my way. I'm on my way, people. I'm working on it.
Literally
Do we
driving.
have a
I'm literally
copy of the
driving.
doc that Suzy was working off of when she made this video?
I can probably find it.
Did you maybe link it in the description?
I think I did.
Then you should be able to go to your video in the description and find it.
On my copy. Yeah, it's...
All right, put it in the chat so somebody can look over it while we go through your video.
Yeah. What-
1 to 5 years.
Now, I don't know how much I'll be able to input because I'm working on stuff right now and it's like almost 10 o'clock at night, but I'll still be here, okay?
No, I remember this was a video that I did not want to mess up. I even ran it by Ponder.
All right,
So-
Julie, let us know when you're in so we can start.
So if
Okay.
I watch this up this badly,
Suzy,
then
Suzy, stop. Okay,
Suzy,
I wanna make
shut the fuck up, Suzy. Shut
clear
up.
real quick. Preemptive stuff like that isn't helping. Just let's go through the data and see what actually has happened before you trip over yourself, okay? Forward.
Okay.
it is in the doc, by the way. Pause.
Pause.
I looked back over the doc. It does say that says then one day he just hit me up and told me he made a drawing without my knowledge or permission. He had drawn my OC Leo acting out the Del coded share trick. This image has been lost due to George removing his accounts, but I have screenshots of him admitting to it.
Forgot to mention that in your video, didn't you, Suzy?
And
Whoops. Oopsies.
so, having watched the end of this video, the takeaway from hearing that a grown adult, mid-20s, drew a picture of a child partaking in an act that he specifically got sexual pleasure
Fucking
from.
extortion, yeah.
The takeaway was to say, well, he couldn't have known that was inappropriate because the child did not set the boundary.
Word it like that, yeah.
When you word it like that, yeah. Ooh, yeah, it looks pretty bad. You stupid fucking cunt. God, I hate this bitch so much. Whoops. Whoopsies. I fucked up.
Why the fuck was this person allowed to come back?
Crickets.
I made the case for them.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm fucking bad. I'm fucking mad at you because guess what? Yeah, I never told the Omega that I was uncomfortable. And I never told Avi that I was uncomfortable either. And I never told Rachel that I was uncomfortable. That what they were doing to me was inappropriate. Now, yes, the Omega and Rachel talked about very sexually explicit things, but they all told me about things that sexually excited them, which George did as well.
Oh, oh, that's interesting. So Chuli also had a run-in with George. And that only happened because Doodles had this fucking cretin crawl their way back into the fucking community.
And also, I want to point out, because it was mentioned that it didn't look like grooming because the things that turned him on were mentioned casually. That's a big thing that Avi did too. He mentioned things casually, and he even made a joke out of his fucking kink because that
What
is
the
a
fuck?
way of desensitizing that kind of thing to a minor. If you make it more digestible, that makes it easier for you to push it on them, which George absolutely was doing by talking to a child extensively about
2 or
things
3
that
pedophiles,
he
yeah.
knew he was getting sexual pleasure from.
Wow. How does DoodleTones know so many pedophiles, and why do they keep defending them?
And then drew that minor doing after 2 years after when he did that to another minor. And I can't fucking believe that this is the person you guys, and you specifically, Suzy, wanted to make a case for to bring him back into a community that has children in it.
Insane.
That's fair.
That's fair. That's it. That's all you gotta say.
Still around.
I was one of the people he drew art of, and Saphie is also here.
These are the kids. These are the fucking kids that Suzy had guilted into fucking apologizing to that guy.
I'm sorry.
Whoopsies! My bad.
Around, but he's not in this server.
How did you two feel about this video?
What the fuck? Holy fuck. I mean, I know I'm talking about the slideshow commentary, but Jesus Christ, man. What the fuck is happening?
I let Saph speak on that. I'll let Saph speak on that because I don't remember on my behalf.
Okay, am I hearable really quick before I say anything else?
Yes, you can be heard.
That was the person's video that we were
so when
just
the video
watching.
came
This
out,
person.
I remember very specifically. So I know I was a talking point in regards to the video, in regards to how the situation was handled, given mine and more specifically Vivian, Maiden Vivian / Channel Gray's involvement. And for context on that, it is worth noting I am another victim of Vivian in particular, and I was 19 around this time. And so.
Wait, actually, I don't think I have this thing up
And the reason this whole thing began is because I heard that Horace was doing all this, and particularly Horace had drawn that same magic trick of me and Autumn back when we were 16 in a committed monogamous relationship while we were 16 and Horace was 20. And so I wanted to warn Leo.
Oh, when
okay,
we were,
this
when
is
we
not
were.
okay.
Okay.
You should tell him to stop. And so he did, and then everything derailed, and I will always admit that the situation was mishandled in the way that we acted.
Okay, well,
online.
thank fucking God. Like the way it sounded before is like they had like a 4-year age gap with their partner. I'm like, huh? Like, isn't that kind of like fucking insane? But no, they were talking about George. Okay.
In the aftermath. But when the video was released, I did make a case in the comments. I don't know if the comments are archived, and if they are, I would like to know. Because I did make a case for myself, talking mainly about how I was basically being spearheaded by Vivian in Vivian's vendetta against Horace, and that I was in my own case a victim of both Horace and Vivian. And in response to that comment, all I got was a bunch of clown emojis and clowning comments in my direction from people like Avi and others within the community. Because
Ponder.
again, like, and it's worth noting.
Ponder Sprocket was also in there. They weren't talking specifically about the minor, but they were just saying, "Wow, I cannot believe people lied about George or whatever." Basically, just echoing out the fucking thing.
For me, it's worth noting for me. Leo and I have always been close. We are especially close now, and I won't speak entirely for him. That's not my place. It's not my place at all, but he is still, to this day, extremely traumatized by this. It did chase him off the internet for a long time. He was only in private spaces. He did not go on Twitter, not on YouTube, not on anything, any public forum where he could be found, particularly by people within the SCC.
And Leo is
And
the alleged
yeah, Leo is it was the one who had come out about, who came with the document in 2018 about, or 2019 about Horace.
Okay, Horace is the abuser.
Horace is George. Horace is George.
Slash George is
Yep.
the name of the person.
There you go.
Is George
Forgot to.
still around?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
They just joined the courthouse just now because of an anxiety flare-up.
Ah, love that. Love a public execution. Don't you, Julie? I love
Dude,
that.
listen to that. Listen to that. George was still in their little circle up to this call. And when people were talking about this call happening and Doodle being confronted on George, guess who decides to do a fucking legger? George. What a shithead. He fucking jets before anybody can confront him. Wow.
Well, we kicked him out for the time being, but we...
Well, I mean, there's nothing. He doesn't. Yeah, Lao doesn't show anything on the screen. What it keeps, the fucking thing keeps being. Whatchamacallit? The replay window keeps fucking minimizing, so I'll just leave it closed. Whatever.
We can bring him back in. I don't know when, because I'm honestly still processing all of this again.
Mm-hmm.
Because
He's not coming back.
Wait, just because, like, I don't want this to head in this direction like it did with Kaden. If you are going to talk to Horace, don't do it here because there are children in the server.
Yes.
Suzy,
Yeah.
did you talk to Leo or Saphie?
By that point, neither really wanted anything to do with me. I think I was blocked from both of them. Memory's a bit hazy on that, though.
I can confirm.
I was blocked. I wonder why. I wonder why the minors that you framed as fucking liars when they were telling the truth. And you had to have known that they were telling the truth because you were looking at the fucking evidence with your eyes. And even in your own video, you were willing to concede that George was being inappropriate with them. I wonder why they have you blocked.
The reason that Leo and I had you blocked at the time is because when Vivian had posted the document about George and all the inside aftermath of everyone acting the way they did, you did make some tweets bringing the allegations into question.
Such a shithead,
And
dude.
then I got promptly skewered for it at the time.
Yes.
I remember that.
Not promptly enough, in my opinion.
Yep.
Because what
Chuli's
what
fucking
the
best,
fuck
dude.
was that video?
And it was something I...
What in the world made you decide to defend this behavior? That's just bizarre.
I genuinely didn't see it as grooming. I mean, I
What do you
understand
think
that
grooming? What do you think grooming was at the time?
well, as Ephraim said, I thought it was more like a targeted and more directly, like
Okay.
explicitly try.
If you are specifically drawing people individually in the fetish content that you consume and those people are children, that doesn't read as targeted to you?
Didn't at the time.
Wait, hold on. I'm like
Okay.
If you have,
half paying attention. Wait, what?
what do you think grooming was at the time?
Well, as Ephraim said, I thought it was more like a targeted and more directly, like
Okay.
explicitly try.
If you are specifically drawing people individually in the fetish content that you consume and those people are children, that doesn't read as targeted to you?
Nope.
Didn't at the time.
Didn't at the time. Didn't cross my mind.
Okay.
If you haven't, if you haven't yet, Julie, I'm going to ask you to check DMs real quick.
Okay.
I guess my only question.
Yeah, we do.
Suzy-
We do need to do that. Did you look at your comments?
Since the video, yeah.
Did you see Saf getting dog time?
Maybe at one point.
Maybe at one point, bro. You fucking suck. You're such. How about this, Doodle? For the rest of your life, for 1,000 years. Sit in your dirty fucking diaper and fucking rot. Oh my god. Dude. Fuck this person. Holy shit. Maybe I did. I mean, I did for a moment. I did see that this child that I phrased as a fucking liar was getting kind of heckled in my comment section. I just didn't do anything about it.
Okay, I'm so done. You released a
What's the
video.
TLDR? Dude, there's no fucking TLDR for this fucking shit. You just have to rewind. There's no TLDR. We're talking about, okay, DoodleTones, defended pedophile, getting confronted for defending pedophile right now. Smeared the minors who got groomed by the pedophile as liars. And the people took the video for what it was and just blindly trusted Suzy DoodleTones that they were telling the truth. So this George guy was let back into the community that had minors in it, and he went back and he was talking sexual with minors again. So
Essentially covering for targeted sexual behavior at children, and then allowed one of the victims of that behavior to be publicly lambasted in your comment section. I am so angry with you right now.
And I want to. At the time, I genuinely, I didn't.
That's
want
one
to
of
be
the
mad
victims talking.
at Suzy. It's still hard for me to be. I know at the time when this video came out, I was still around Rachel. I was still being in that. I was still in that situation. I can understand. Yeah, people didn't want to hear from me, but at the same time, they knew it was common knowledge at this point that I had experienced that behavior from George, but also this was post me coming out about Vivian the first time, because remember I've come out about her twice.
Yeah, we both did. We both.
A
came out about Vivian
dreadnought?
at the same
What
time.
the fuck, dude?
We came out about Vivian in 2020.
Yeah, and then I came out again in December of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So
how?
We have someone. Okay, this is just another example of the community treating victims like they're not fucking people.
Yep. Pattern.
Because someone came out about being drawn sexually. It doesn't matter if it's sexually in the generic sense. It was drawn in a way that got the fucking person who drew it off. And that person was dogged on, despite having also come forward about the other person and saying that they were spearheaded by the other person who victimized them. And we as in the community at the time, because I never actually watched this stuff happen. I just heard of it, of course, by Avi, who said that it wasn't bad because he was doing the same thing to me.
Oh, this is that guy.
Yes, this is the situation that Avi used to say, this can't be bad because it's what I'm doing to you.
Wow.
I do want to have this known, real quick. I mentioned this in courthouse earlier, but I mentioned that I denounced calling George a groomer, and I apologized for him for saying that. But I'm realizing now this, because I did speak a little bit with staff before I joined this call. I'm definitely thinking this is definitely an overcorrection on my end, because this, I think that's just the habit I've grown to have when I rejoined the community.
Catch your eye.
I know that I wronged people.
Alpha Legion.
I tried to right
I like
those
the
wrongs,
Alpha Legion.
but I didn't recognize that I was still hurt.
Oh, Chaos Space Marines.
Same.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
guys. This has happened so many times.
Suzy, I'm going to ask you right now to be quiet.
What is the ones that worship corn? I like those guys. Those guys are funny. I like seeing the memes. It's like it shows like the Ultra means is like, we will win our battles with tactics and strategy, and it smash cuts to like the fucking corn like Chaos Knights. Fucking turn 1 in charge. Fucking 2-1 charge. Yeah, World Eaters.
We shall use superior tactics to engage the enemy.
Yeah.
Because I'm not exactly happy right now. The best thing you
I
can do right
fucking
now-
love that. That's funny as fuck.
Now you screwed up. We know what you've done. A billion apologies aren't going to change it. Please be quiet right now.
This has happened too many times. Where victims
I
were
fucking
treated like
love it.
shit,
It's so funny.
made to feel guilty for the things that the people who have abused them have gone through, felt the need to overcorrect and in fact dismiss their previous claims or dismiss claims made about sexual fucking degeneracy, to put it in the way I fucking want to right now.
I get it.
Because this exact thing happened to me. I came out and everyone immediately looked at, oh, Chuli's doing, but Chuli was doing this. Chuli, despite being a 16-year-old, Chuli did this and this and this to Fagos. So actually, I think Fagos is the victim here. And then tried to push
Complete
that narrative
bullshit,
against me
dude, yeah.
publicly. And this is so fucking sinister.
Why?
Why is every victim that comes forward in this god-forsaken community made to feel like they are the problem?
Because this community has had a bad habit.
Because the community is full of pedophiles and
saying, well, we don't want that.
freaks, and they all like defending each other. That's why. Lyle just gave some fucking long-worded thing. The simplest thing is that the people who defended this shit are freaks themselves. It's just that simple. They're freaks themselves, and if condemning them means also condemning themselves, like if condemning the pedophile also means condemning themselves, then they don't want to fucking do it. Right? But even then, that's not even entirely fucking true, because some of them literally were like on YouTube, like making videos about other people that were grooming minors and talking sexual with minors and shit. And I mean, Peaches is an example, made tons of videos exposing people for being creeps, rightfully so. But then in the background, she was like, okay, I'm palling it up with like fucking freaks that were grooming children right in front of her, right? Like,
and
that's the community.
I simply cannot accept the thing of, I didn't think this was targeted behavior. I cannot accept that, because if I did, I would be accepting irresponsible actions to a pretty, I would consider, unforgivable degree.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm even more infuriated. I'm so sorry, Saf, that I keep talking.
You're okay.
I'm even more infuriated that to this day, victims, children who had kink art drawn of them, to this day have been made to feel like they shouldn't be mad about that.
Dog, for fucking real, man.
I'm furious. I am, because I've sat on this, and I've known of the situation, like I said, for years.
The gist of every damn near drama I've spent the efforts witnessed just really boils down to freaks clashing with people would sell their soul, their crumb of relevancy. Yep.
Years, and everyone always told me, oh, George got done wrong.
Especially in the
George got done
ACC,
dirty.
that's
It wasn't like how it
especially
was
true in the
painted.
ACC.
And now I'm hearing that it is exactly how it was painted, and the people who dealt with it were made to essentially apologize on behalf of other victims' actions. I am angry to a degree I cannot begin to describe right now.
Yeah. And what really bothers me here is was a screw up by, honestly, anybody other than Suzy, maybe an argument with Suzy. You spent time in fetish groups because you were fascinated by the concept. How did you not know better?
Because admittedly, George's kink is quite weird, and I didn't think it was very, because it's not, like, if he didn't call it a kink, it would be entirely harmless. And as I've...
No, it was on his, and it's, oh my god, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. He can say until he's blue in the face that it is not his fetish. He is involving it and pairing it with something that he is openly fetishistic about. It doesn't fucking matter. How the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, if Akumu got caught doing that fucking shit, you best fucking believe all these people, including Doodles, would be making these fucking videos on Akumu, exposing him and calling him a fucking freak and creep and hypocrite, whatever the fuck. They would 100% jump down this fucking dude's throat if he did that shit.
Talked to you about in the past, Lio, I have a very weird perspective on fetishes, on fetishes and kink.
Wow, really? Understatement of the fucking century.
Kinks in general.
By the way, there's a video of her literally defending shipping Sonic characters. It's not worth going over. It's really stupid, but she has a history of just defending really freakish pedophilic shit. Like it I have a history of fetishes, like, bro, shut the fuck up. And the diaper shit too is obviously like fucking pedophilic.
Have to be sex.
She would do like age regression role plays where she would pretend to be like a child, and like a lot of sexual shit happened in those fucking role plays. Like it's not worth going into detail over, obviously, but it's like, yeah, like no fucking wonder she's friends with George. I would not be shocked if Doodle defended, or not defended. I would not be shocked. Honestly, I'm gonna say this. I would not be shocked if she groomed children. I would not be shocked. There's no evidence of it, to be clear. There's no evidence of it, but I would not be shocked if it comes out that she was fucking with kids.
We've had this conversation before.
We have, but he's made it pretty clear it was. Based on just a little bit I know. Well, I gotta listen to them.
I was gonna say, Suzy, as much as it is, like, yeah, it's by all accounts not a typical kink, take out all of the type of discussion he had, and you could apply that exact same sentiment to Avi. Because by all accounts, that's not a quote-unquote typical kink. It's just the way, it's how you go about it that matters.
I didn't know what we know about Avi now.
Well, yeah, I know that. What I'm saying is, like, when you connect the dots of these two situations, it becomes clear. It was a lot of just. It just becomes clear a lot was wrong.
I understand that now. At the time, I didn't.
They do this. You notice that in the first fucking call, if anybody's stuck around? In the first call, it's the same fucking thing. She fucking, whenever she's being confronted on shit she has done, on people she has wronged, she starts crying and pretending to be the victim. Holy fucking shit. Defend the position. I would love to hear her double down and defend George. Do it right now. Do it right fucking now, dude.
I guess my only question I really have, Suzy, and I'm not saying this to be mad.
She had 2 fucking years. When these kids came out and went out against GeorgeRaccoon, when they came out against him, it took Suzy 2 fucking years, and she came out with her fucking video. She had 2 years to look into this fucking situation. And apparently, it's been on her mind and bugging her for that fucking long that she made this video vilifying the fucking kids and falsely redeeming fucking George. It's so stupid, dude.
I can't really find
disgusting
anything
freak. You should not be fucking crying. You should not be fucking crying.
As far as we know, there are 3 people in particular that Horace had done this art with. And all 3 of them at the time of the art being done were 16. It was me, Autumn, and Leo. Was there not a correlation there?
Nope.
On my mind, no, but when laid out like that, yeah, I see it now.
Well, when you take the information that I was already well aware of by the time I made my video and say it out loud, you know, it does sound kind of fucked. Wow.
I don't think I can talk to you right now, Suzy. I'm so...
And I had 2 years to sit on this. When you say it out loud, wow, that really is fucked up.
Unbelievably angry with you.
You can't make this fucking shit up,
every
dude.
other adult that saw that. And
that's fair. I need to interject you to say that's
okay.
fair.
And I'm angry that no one until now decided to look back at it again. And it makes me feel fucking sick that this guy drew fan art for me just a couple days ago.
Just a couple days ago. Just a couple days ago. It's so fucking crazy. It is so insane. He gets brought back into the community, and he's running back to talk to kids. It is so, bro, you cannot fucking make this up, man.
Knowing that Avi used what he did to Leo and to Autumn and to Saph.
It would come back down,
yeah.
yeah. What do we do? Fucking God. By the way, I think, well, to be fair, I think Chuli is an adult now. She's like 18 or 19 now, I think. But dude, calm the fuck on.
Can I'm looking at what Hidden's asking in chat.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
How...
I said that Hidden could speak. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hidden,
Hi. If I may.
No.
Because I'm
Hold on. Let Hidden speak first. They've been waiting.
There's a few things we need to address because I asked a few questions that I think are important for clarification. Because one, apparently Horace has been in the sphere here from 2010 to 2019, and then there was a break until 2021, and they've been here to the present day. And that means he was allowed to come back after this situation happened, and everyone who knew this person just accepted that they were here now. And now I have to ask, how many of you who are currently here knew what happened and decided it was a non-issue?
Good question.
Because I will not let you sit here and get out with this performative anger at what Suzy did when some of y'all have this person in your community and did nothing. So I need to know how many of
they're in a stage, like a Discord stage thing. Like it's a weird fucking pretentious setup that they have here. I think this is Cats. Is this the Cat Slayer or the Court or whatever? Art Commentary Court, whatever the fuck. It's ran by Lio and whatever the hell. There's a bunch of ACC people in that are in this Discord server, and there are people. Basically, what she's pointing out is there's people in the Discord server that are being like, "Wow, fuck you, Suzy, you're a piece of shit," and they're saying that in the chat. Dude, some of these people were knew about the George shit and still did nothing and said nothing and just ran with it. So, but they're over here like judging Suzy mega hard. It's like, well, you knew, motherfucker. Why the hell are you staying silent?
You knew actually what happened, what he was accused of, and decided it was a non-issue.
Okay, hold on. I want to ask, because backing off of what Hidden said, how many of y'all didn't ever read either Leo's doc or Horace's doc, and yet just watched Suzy's video and took everything at face value? Who just, because, again, like, between Leo's story basically being thrown to the side, and then also mine and Autumn's, and, like, me and Autumn were basically made to, like, be like, okay, well, what happened wasn't all as bad as we thought. Were there people who just knew about what happened, but didn't ever actually look into it, and just said, okay, George being here is okay?
Yes, thank you. That was my next point, where it was like, this video came out in 2021, so it's been a hot minute. So now I have to ask how many of you saw this video and decided not to look into the allegations and just take Suzy at face value. So
Stardust is one of them.
Fantastic. So we don't get into like the explanation where you guys all try to excuse yourselves. If you knew, I need you to put that in the chat. Just say, I knew, and I ignored it. I don't want excuses, I don't want explanation, I just want I knew, or you don't say anything, because that's kind of important.
Okay, we have a few people who watched the video but did not look into it. From the sounds of it, the people who watched the video but did not look further into things was Donnie, Sarah Dust, Zenny, and Mr. A.
Donnie also mentioned in chat earlier that he was also spoken to sexually for George when he was a minor.
Actually, what I was going to try and speak on, just because I
Oh my god! I'm not angry at you, Donnie.
Another
Sorry,
one.
that anger was not directed at you.
Okay, so from what I can see in the side chat, most people seem to.
So basically, he literally is just a pedophile. He seeks out kids, talks sexual to them, and when they don't reciprocate, he starts suicide baiting, trying to guilt these fucking kids into engaging and playing along with his fucking fetish, and that's just the cycle. And he wraps them up in that shit until he gets bored and fucking fucks off.
I've seen the video, but then didn't look into the situation.
Nice.
Why? Like, oh,
This is the guy, and he's been doing this for years. He did this in CloudPalace, in Suzy's server. She knows he's like this, but she's over here saying, that didn't happen. Well, that didn't happen. He's not like that. I know him. Lying. Just lying.
oh my fucking god, why? Y'all saw a video where somebody was accused of, you know, grooming shit with screenshots, mind you, that your eyes could have read. Like, I'm just putting that out there. Your eyes could have read the screenshots on screen. And you decided, instead of using my brain, I'm just gonna believe Suzy and be like, oh yeah, sure, this is... Oh, fantastic, please
I can
do.
tell you why.
Because people don't look at the
It's the same
screen.
problem they've been having for years now. And it's part of the overarching issue. They always put the heaviest things on a single person and go literally what they do. They did it to Suzy. They've done it.
Well, it's not just that's a factor, but it's mostly because, and this is honestly why I was a fan of Mama Max at one point, is literally because I didn't look at the screen. Because I didn't look at the screen. I had it play in the background as I was doing other fucking shit. So you're not seeing what he's showing, and you're not inclined to question it, right? Because you're more or less just listening.
This is
So, I mean, they're basically harping on it. Okay, Suzy's sitting there crying, pretending to be a victim, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Call number 3, Space Guru, regarding his behavior in CloudPalace. I don't know anything about that. Call 4, the final call. This is the final call
Later
with
on
Suzy.
during that weekend after this call that Suzy messaged me, saying she accidentally deleted her channel.
Nice.
And to be frank, I don't believe her. After Julie kind of crashed out on her, I wound up talking to her and at least getting some of the needed data from her. But at this point, it was time. So a final call with Suzy was had in courthouse.
All right, so
they had asked, it's like, okay, so now we're in this situation where you have made this video vindicating this groomer. We want to know what the fuck you're hiding, because you're hiding shit. You are fucking hiding shit. So we want the login to your fucking YouTube account so we could go through and archive everything, right? We want to see what things were being said. We want a full scope of your shit, right? They managed to get the login to CloudPalace, and that's what's being gone through now. And CloudPalace has been around since 2016, so it's gonna take a while until we get some major leaks about that. But she apparently accidentally deleted her YouTube channel, so whatever content was on there is really bad. She is hiding shit. She is fucking hiding shit. And her saying that it was by accident is complete bullshit, because I tried. I looked at the process to see if I wanted to delete my channel, what would that look like? It's a 2-factor process, meaning you have to click on YouTube to delete your account, and you need to go to your email and verify on your email that you want to delete your account. That doesn't happen by accident. That was on purpose.
Gonna go ahead and get this started. I don't know much in the way of a preamble for this, but I'm
See
going to
you
go
later,
ahead and say this
SCU.
much. Suzy, you have been in this community for almost a decade now, based on what I've seen, if not longer than that.
Yes.
I came to you a few months ago asking you for access to the CloudPalace because I was going to help you address the things you thought you needed to address. And up until now, I have not been able to really look at it because it is in genuine truth a massive server that's had, at any given time, 50 people in it, and all of them won't shut up. We have, however, had several people come in and start digging, and I will be blunt. You have cultivated one of the ugliest communities I have ever seen in my life.
Yep.
The way you conspired, or the way you discussed the victims and the victimizers, how you spoke about children, is the only thing more disgusting than it I can find at this point is the FCK because children were preyed upon. What you did, Suzy, was you ran one of the most cutthroat, vile child bullying servers I've ever seen in my entire life.
Child bullying. That's what he's saying.
Every single
bullying.
individual so far that I've seen there, that at some point I thought was a decent human being, has clearly just been playing a part, because this is what they actually are behind the scenes. Now, normally I would cut you slack, because you, as foolish as the reason
Because
you've given
you
me
are
is,
retarded.
have told me why you did not have any moderators up until the very end, the last few months of its operation. You didn't have many moderators because you couldn't trust them.
Bullshit.
The problem is,
Bullshit. You trusted GeorgeRaccoon. You trusted him. Why wasn't he a mod?
contributed to this. You pushed it. You
I figure
enabled
I
it.
must have.
And Suzy, it's bad.
Sorry.
It is severely unpleasant.
I am sure it is.
I'm sure it
did not
is.
do
Wow.
A whole hell of a lot to keep the CloudPalace at bay, and
Suzy.
I
Keep it at bay. You, dude, I love the framing. The framing. She loves doing this. Framing is her favorite fucking thing to do. Is to frame it in, I'm a victim, and I made a mistake. Please ignore the fact that I took deliberate actions. That these are deliberate actions that are being referred to, and also that I took part in this. And Lyle's gonna mention that.
let me finish. Let me finish.
Let me finish. Oh my fucking the cojones on this bitch. Holy
Did not
shit,
do-
dude. Forgot you you could rewind lines, but yeah, a deletion of the channel wasn't accidental. I have the data dumps regarding their channel. Oh shit, really? I could drop it? Well, I'll leave other people to do that. I'm still new. I'm still new with the whole situation. So like I'm like I'm more like an albatross. I'm watching the sharks in the water pull apart the fucking innocent the innocent little dolphin. Or quote unquote innocent. Like I'm just watching like Beckett and like fucking Chris, like everyone just tear this fucking dolphin apart. And I'm the albatross and I'm just waiting to pick up the scraps. So I'm fine with waiting. I don't need to get involved.
A lot to keep the CloudPalace at bay, and I do tend to.
As long as I don't get pulled. Yeah, I don't want to get pulled in either.
Very, I guess, tribalistic behaviors, and that is not okay.
Ow.
For a leader, that is not okay. For just a general person in the community, it's
Ow.
not okay behavior. It is genuinely immature. And you guys told me a few days ago that, or no, it was last week at this point, that you don't trust me or that I'm not mature enough to have a platform.
Wow.
I thought about it and agreed.
Suzy, immature is not the correct word here.
Sorry, vile,
Then let me talk.
disgusting. Sorry.
Suzy, you're dangerous. Because here I am. Because, you know, part of the problem I'm having now is I don't know how much of what you told me is true versus a lie, because apparently you will lie to people. I'm going to ask you a very direct question, and it's going to be a very strange question for me to ask you, but I will ask you regardless. Suzy, who came up with the term or the name of Doodle Diapers?
Yes.
Mr. Medicare.
Nope.
It
Lies.
was not Mr. Medicare.
I gotta sneeze.
It was you.
Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. Uh-oh. Whoops. That lie got found out.
It was you. In 2014. One moment, I'll read it off for you.
Yeah, please do, because I don't recall this.
I don't recall.
Yep, it was you.
Selective memory is
Behold,
quite
from the creator
the...
of the D-Diaper, Doodle Diapers Inc. bring you the Time Diaper. Just think of an age and you'll become it, with the only downside being you'll be a bedwetter. But only for those who play that isn't the problem. Order, start RPing now. You did.
Yes, I
You
did.
started that.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that. Wow.
I genuinely don't remember
I'm-
that, but
Crazy.
I'm sure, because what I have noticed is this community, whenever somebody's in hot water, suddenly have
Oh, I don't know the details regarding the drama. I just wrote automated scripts that pull and sync YouTube data and data in real time to there. I don't know shit, but I could drop objective data for those who care. Lol. Well, I mean, like if that data is already handed off to the people that are actively looking into this situation, then I don't really need it.
collective amnesia. I'm kind of tired of it.
But I would say if you haven't sent it, then I would send it over to like Beckett or some shit if you haven't.
this is something from like what?
You said no, but Suzy.
11, 12 years ago?
2014.
Like that's 11 years ago. I'm not gonna
Suzy.
remember everything I posted.
When did the Medicare thing happen?
2016.
It was 2016. That was
2 years later. You don't fucking remember?
almost a decade ago.
So you forgot.
You do not remember calling yourself Doodle Diapers in 2014. You calling yourself that, but you, oh my God, it was so traumatizing when Mr. Medicare called me Doodle Diapers on his, fuck off. It's such a stupid lie.
Within 2 years then, not 11.
I guess it's a good point.
I guess that's a good point. Dude, this person sucks. Oh.
Speaking of which, you have gone on record multiple times saying how troublesome the Medicare situation was, how traumatizing.
Whoops, that
the
lie
family
fell
was, yes.
apart.
Correct.
Then why is it I have a screen cap from you in a different server, hoping that Lin goes through a Medicare moment because she did a bad commentary that you didn't like?
Yes. Did ask me about that. In short, I was just really frustrated at Lynn over something. It's not okay. Well, I did look back on our DMs, and we actually talked about the video later that night. Lynn eventually understood the problems that I had with the
Okay, did you mention the fact that you wish that she would get harassed by Medicare?
video on Bleach
Or I guess hassled?
show, and she apologized and deleted the video shortly thereafter. I've mentioned it before to you, Lio. When people say that I have patience of a saint, I tend to disagree. I have actually a very short fuse, and that's an example of it.
The problem is, that should have been your learning moment. That should have been a moment where you figured, hey, I can just talk to Lin if there's a problem. I shouldn't have had to get in your face a couple years after that. And I did. In fact, I'm looking at the logs here, and it seems like all sorts of deranged behavior, chatter, and everything were talked about in your server, and enabled and abetted. And, Suzy, you are the problem. The community you have cultivated is the problem.
She encouraged that
The
multiple
call is coming
points.
from inside the house. And now I'm starting to fully understand, as much as we joked about me beating Septi's banning record, I'm starting to really understand why I was never invited into the server, because I think deep down, you or whoever else was in there knew I would lose my mind if I was put in this place.
I just wanted to keep it as, you know, SCC members, which you were not at the time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Very fascinating.
Yeah,
then
very
honestly,
fascinating indeed,
am I going to
Lyle.
find non-SCC members in there? Because I have a feeling I'm going to, but that's not even really the point here. It's not even the point. My entry in there is irrelevant, frankly, so we're going to move on from it. More to the point is the amount of damage you have allowed to happen here. I have now seen unhinged comments from you, Yoon, Jace, and a whole slew of other people. Jace specifically, talking about how they want to give Rin a rope to hang themselves.
Nice.
Like, you created a monster here.
Does Lyle confront her on saying the N-word?
At no point did you ever try to reel it in. We haven't even gotten to the not safe for work rooms yet. This is just the cursory stuff.
Oh shit, yeah.
In general, morally reprehensible.
There is some wacky shit in there. 100%. There is some wacky, insane fucking shit in those NSFW servers. 1000%, dude.
There's people here who have questions for you. I am not going to let this devolve into
And
people aren't gonna
I
threaten
don't know. Was there minors in CloudPalace? I don't know. I don't know that. That's gonna come out for sure if
here,
there
not
is.
gonna lose their minds. Their questions should be direct, and hopefully you will have answers for once. So, which one of you has decided to go first? Because according to the Google Doc, it's Amity.
That would be me.
Amity, all right, go ahead.
All right. I just have a few questions, and I want to start this off with the elephant in the room, and that is the treatment of Leo, pre and post coming out about George. So before I ask this question, Suzy, I would like to read a chat log I found that I was given between you and Porkate. So Porkate goes into your DMs. I heard you're in contact with the guy, and there were things that happened differently. And your response was, at the very least, the evidence showing us what happened kind of shows the opposite might have been true. For instance, Leo keeps telling us how uncomfortable he was within the DMs with George, but we don't really see that. In fact, what we do see is Leo playing along happily with the conversation. Whereas the V situation, as comparison, we see Joni was uncomfortable with V's sending of porn. Grooming kind of has a purpose of conditioning someone into being more okay with sexual discussions. But we don't really see that intent with George, at least according to Leo's document. And then later down, you say, George was guilty of being irresponsible with his NSFW account. I won't say he's totally innocent regarding the claims.
I mean, we were kind of more or less wrapped back around into the George shit, which we've already fucking went over. I want to see the extortion part. This is fucking extortion.
There's nothing I can say.
Yes. Okay. Let me rewind a little bit back here.
Go ahead.
Did you delete specifically your channel or the Google account?
Okay, I want to hear her. Let's hear her explain why the fuck this thing got deleted.
And the best I can do right now is you guys got questions. I'm here to answer them to the best of my abilities, at least.
Okay,
I know it has not been great. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Everyone's questions at this point have been answered.
Yes.
I do need to ask you this again because I asked you it earlier today and you did not give me an answer. Have you done everything possible to try and reinstate that channel?
Um, no, I suppose I haven't.
No, I suppose I haven't.
If anyone,
No, I just kind of been just vegging out on my couch, drinking diet soda. Just waiting for this all to blow over, actually. No, I haven't really done anything.
I think at this point, I think it's
Not
all
trying
the
to
same.
hide anything.
Probably better if it's not.
okay, that's not your decision.
Ooh, that's so fucking interesting. Yeah, I accidentally deleted my channel. Okay, have you done anything to reinstate it? Nah, not really, but I think it's probably best that nobody digs through it, you know. Not hiding. No skeletons. No skeletons here, officer.
Okay, if
At this
anyone,
point, I think at this point, I think it's all the same. It's probably better if it's not.
okay, that's not.
If
your
it's all the
decision.
same. Yeah.
If anyone
She
here knows
is hiding something. There is a video on that channel, or videos on that channel, unlisted, most likely, for several years, that are really bad. I don't doubt it for a fucking second.
to revive that channel. Also, yeah, what the fuck was that? It's better if it's gone. Suzy, we still need the comments from those videos. We need those videos back up so that we can actually get the comments that were on them.
You guys didn't get them when I had them unlisted?
You only unlisted one video, Suzy. And you didn't give the link to anyone that day until you gave it to Lio.
No, you and Lio had asked me to unlist the GeorgeRaccoon video and the stream when I initially talked about it, and I unlisted both. You mean to tell me you guys didn't go through and get the comments on those?
Suzy.
Like, genuinely, I'm
Nobody thought you would be retarded enough to delete your entire channel. To be fair.
asking.
We have gotten, I think, enough from those videos, but there are other videos that we wanted to look at as well. Which is why we had you handing over the channel. I thought that was pretty obvious.
I set up to do that, and I accidentally deleted it.
Yes, and now you need to work to get it revived instead of throwing your hands up in the air and saying, oh, well, it's better if it's gone anyways. No. Anyone in this chat, I'm sure there are people in this chat who know more ways to try and revive that channel. And this is an open invitation for any of you guys to tell Suzy, give directions how to do that so that she can bring it back.
Hi, yes. Would it be alright if I asked a question in the meantime?
Sure.
Okay. Because I remember trying to ask other people in regards to this, because this is a matter that does concern me to a degree. Suzy, have you already handed over the keys to Larvesta for the wiki?
I was trying to find a place to make him owner, but I wasn't able. Apparently, there doesn't appear to be a way of doing that. I did. He is a bureaucrat.
How
He is a
convenient.
bureaucrat on the
Everything
wiki,
is
so he
just
does have effectively
conveniently
all the
inconvenient
owner
all of a sudden.
privileges. And then I basically stepped down, so I guess in a way, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Crickets.
Can I chime in on something for a second?
Dead air. Dead air.
Go ahead. Did you delete specifically your channel or the Google account?
Bitch.
It's just specifically my channel. The Google account stayed.
Okay. So, I don't know what the solution has been there from what's been mentioned. I am curious, how did you accidentally delete your YouTube channel?
My finger slipped.
My Google account had 2 channels connected to
My
it.
pants were
And I was trying
slipping.
to delete one without realizing I was logged into the
And I
other.
had a virus.
When you delete a channel, it asks you for an email, and if it's under the same Google account, then it's under the same email. So I put in the email and wound up deleting one over the other.
What's the other channel that was tied to your account?
She has like
This is the
40
channel
other
that also doesn't
fucking
exist
channels,
anymore.
dude.
And for your other channels, like the ones where you archived calls, is that held on a separate Google account?
Yeah, but those are also at this point not around.
Oh, that's so convenient.
So
Wow.
your other accounts for your other channels have been
Wow.
nuked, or,
A channel with a
do you
bunch.
not have access to them?
Channels with a bunch of really interesting unlisted videos are now just suddenly deleted. That's so fucking awesomely convenient.
I was working on deleting the Twitch stream bot channel before all of this. And
Dude, that
eventually
is
I
so
planned on taking down the
crazy.
Doodle Shows channel
That's
at
so
some point,
crazy.
too.
It's so crazy how all this is happening so recently. Oh, it's so wow.
Not like there's really anything on there for y'all here, but
What's the channel that you uploaded calls onto?
actually, just real quick, Mr. A, yeah, the channel with the calls is gone. However, I have told Lio, and that was kind of what I wanted to do this call, was during me trying to send Lio, the calls that, the calls that were on that account are like have been sent to Lio, or are going to be sent to Lio because I'm still working on the FCK calls. So
Yeah, those
we
are
don't
calls
really
that
need the
happened during-
channel.
And for those of you wondering what she means by that, are calls that happened during the FCK expose stuff. It's not calls that happened in the FCK.
Yeah,
Oh, so she has calls?
Yeah.
Bro, she has calls of people panicking about the FCK getting leaked? Oh my god. Bro, now I hate her more. Now I hate her more that we're never gonna hear that shit, dude. Oh.
I don't really need the account when I have basically sent everything that was on there to Lio, and I'm continuing to send more to Lio.
Okay, good. Okay, we're gonna hear it eventually. Yeah, dude. Let's fucking go, man.
Alright.
Does anybody else have any questions, or am I clear to go?
My advice is just, girl, contact YouTube support about it.
I do have a question.
And we'll see.
We'll see.
I do have a
Sure.
question. Sorry, I didn't know if I got picked up the first time. Discord's being weird. I'm gonna make this quick.
Maybe I could use my magic diaper. Maybe
You
I
were
could
asked
wish upon a magic
Oh my
diaper
God.
and
You
get
were
it
asked
unbanned or whatever.
to
Get it
hand
on.
over the YouTube
deleted.
accounts and like to Chuli and Lio. You took your time on that, and then we find out as of today you deleted your accounts. So not only did you fail to hand it over properly, you gave a bad explanation for it. But my question at this point, and I do not want to hear, I do not recall, or I don't know, because I'm not accepting that. You've done that throughout this call. Why? Why did you not just hand them it, and why did you delete the accounts?
Holy fucking
I mean,
wombo
admittedly,
combo.
When it comes to,
That ain't
when it comes to the
Falco.
DoodleTones account, to me, it was not merely just an account. That's like 14 years of my life on that thing. That's memories, but it's a story.
That's memories, nigga.
I know.
Dude, you gotta be
this.
fucking kidding me.
Of course I'm going to be hesitant about sending that off. Like, there's also, of course, there's the idea that there's private information, like personal private information on that I don't really feel comfortable giving out. And eventually, like, Lio, in our DMs, was kind of okay with me just giving the DoodleTones account. Like, we talked about it. He's like, okay, I'll just take the one account then. And so I sat down, set up a second brand account. You know, and again, I had everything ready to send him the keys. However, you do have to wait 7 days before you can move a brand account over to a different Google account. So I was just kind of waiting that off before I handed the keys to him, and that would have been yesterday, or not yesterday, tomorrow. That would have been tomorrow, because that was on Monday. But yesterday, I wound up accidentally deleting the channel.
Fine, I will just say one more thing for those who do not know. The way that YouTube deletes your account is you have to type in your password, you have to go through several warnings to say, are you sure you want to do this because it cannot
You
be
do.
recovered, and then you have
It's
to say yes. What I'm
multi-factor.
getting at
It is so
I don't
bullshit.
buy that
The
you
ex-
deleted it accidentally.
It's so bullshit.
Yeah, and you have every right to not believe it.
As I'm editing this at work, I can't help but pause and point out this comment. You have every right to not believe it. You're right, Doodle. I have every right not to believe a half-ass blatant lie. The deletion of that channel was a malicious act to stop people from finding your dirty laundry. Now what you've done is essentially give everyone the pass to assume the absolute worst of you, as if it were a right enshrined on the 10 Commandments. Yet absolutely, completely, fucked.
Here's a quick question. When you realized that your account was deleted by what you say is mistakenly, did you make any attempts to try to get it, or did you really think like, oh, I deleted it, I guess it's gone forever?
I went to tell him what I had done, and then Lio brought up a video to help me try to bring it back up. I tried to follow the video. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense.
It
to me. I
didn't make a
wasn't saying
whole
lot
lot
of
of
stuff they
sense.
were
It's some
saying that I
bullshit, dude.
And
Please believe me.
that was about the extent of what I had been able to try.
Okay, so you followed one video, but didn't you see the importance of maybe doing your own research, going to different forums, YouTube searching
Get
an alternative
fucked.
method
Oh
that
my
was more
God,
recent
dude.
here? I don't know how long ago that video was, but the YouTube system is always changing.
I had
God.
not really had the time.
Okay, I mean, you've had the time. And I do want to ask, because we had a whole argument about this earlier, you saying that I was looking to try and get your social security, what was that all about?
You were asking for my private email.
No, I was asking for the Gmail account connected to the DoodleTones channel, and I was
Doodletard.
telling you...
You said email, and then I specified private email. You said you deserve nothing.
No,
I
I
have those
said...
on record.
I also have it on record since you left the fucking group chat, Suzy, if you want to play that game.
Ooh.
Because I'm looking at it right now, and I say, Lio and I literally said we did not want that. We were not looking for your private information. I was also telling you repeatedly that we were looking for you to scrub your information from that email, move it over to a different one, transfer all the personal stuff over to something else. But I guess you're illiterate or something?
It's attached to my personal email.
Make a new one.
God.
Aww. That doesn't fit my narrative. Fuck, I didn't think of that.
I know there's nothing I can say that will convince you that this is fucking extortion.
This is fucking extortion.
Okay, you're just being ridiculous. I'm not asking for any of your personal information, and I've made that extremely clear several times. You're just choosing to ignore it. That is on the record.
Cutting in here real quick, I want to make something clear. Neither Chuli or I were asking for her actual personal information. All we wanted was a channel and the data therein. We feel this tirade claiming extortion is just Suzy attempting to victimize herself.
Yep.
You can see what was requested in these DMs.
If I may bring something up, Suzy, is it the DoodleTones account that you use for things like therapy?
That's
email?
gonna live in infamy. Or, that's gonna live in infamy, dude. That fucking lie. That's a fucking extortion. It's gonna be so fucking legendary. Oh, that's the legacy you leave behind, DoodleTones. You're gonna be more remembered for that shit than your fucking diapers. How does it feel?
That one was attached to that email, yes.
Okay, so I think I understand a bit of the miscommunication there. Handing over the account, that's the one where Suzy would communicate for things like medical issues.
No, I'm completely aware of that. My answer to that is change the fucking email that you go through all that stuff for.
But, like, you have your past email communication still saved into the inbox.
Okay, then just delete those emails.
You can make an alternate email and then pass the account onto that email, so that it's detached from your personal information if Suzy was really concerned about that.
That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to put the DoodleTones account onto a different Google account that I was going to pass to Lio. That's what I was going to do. But you have to wait 7 days before you can make that a full transaction over. That's what I was
It's a
trying
big
to
cringe,
do.
to be honest.
But when I asked
guess.
for clarification, Chuli had just said that they wanted
Like,
my email.
So when you say her whole channel is archived, so like every single video that she's uploaded is archived?
No, I asked why you didn't decide to just send the email over after scrubbing all your personal information. And you acted as though I was still asking for your personal information, when in the recorded call, Lio and I both directly say that we aren't looking for
The
your
data?
personal information.
Yeah, what's the data say? I guess, like, will you be able to see, like, comments or, like, descriptions and shit?
We tell you, you can scrub that shit.
Channel, yeah? But not the email.
Oh, okay, you're just actually technically illiterate.
If I could offer a perspective, Suzy, this is like an email that like a lot of your you get emails from like everything that you are signed into, like you have
And a
accounts
lot
on,
more?
right?
Oh,
Like, if you
okay.
have, like Disney Plus, like you get those. If you have like old accounts, you get those.
Yeah,
How long have you had this email?
Since 2011.
Okay,
Since the
so-
channel was like actually probably further back than that.
So for clarification's
honest.
sake, that would be a lot of potential stuff to go over. Like I know how much stuff is connected to my personal emails. That would be a lot of stuff to have to go over. And like even outside of the accounts that are currently in use, the stuff that she's like currently getting emails for, if there are
Example over
accounts that are just
Discord?
like not being used as frequently and
Okay.
she doesn't remember them, she would inherently kind of lose access to those accounts if she didn't think to immediately switch them over. That would take time, and there would be like an inherent risk of her missing out on things and then missing out on potentially really important stuff. Like I've got like my insurance stuff attached to my email. If somebody asked me to go in and like give them my email and I didn't think to transfer that, that would be a big problem for me. Inherently, I could see that being a big problem.
My answer to that is that I have no sympathy for that because I actually just went ahead and created 2 new emails, personal and business, to update from the old personal and business that I had. And I spent days going through and changing all that stuff. And I didn't let a predator back into a community with children in it, while having access to a ton of data about that community. I simply have no sympathy. You're going to have to get it from someone else.
Ooh.
There is actually something else. Suzy, you had a week to transfer those emails over, so you could have looked through your email and
I was trying to transfer the channel over because that's what Lio and I had came down to an agreement on.
Suzy, what I'm getting at though is that in that week before, while you had to wait, you could have made the transfer for your other accounts, not your Google. Like if you were attached to a certain website, you could have made that transfer or gone through your emails to see what you need to switch over. That's what I'm saying.
Again, Lio and I came to an agreement that it was just going to be the one channel, which is easy enough to do. I was able to switch it over since it was a brand account. I was able to switch it over, or not necessarily switch it over, but like connect it to a second Google account that I was going to switch over when the week passes because you have to have that thing
Different,
set as a co-owner for a week. That is how that works. was literally trying to comply with giving the channel over. I was not willing to comply with giving my email.
If it was discussed between Julie and Lio, I think it's best to let them speak on this matter, then I'm going to mute.
Okay. Okay, the thing is, even taking that into account, what sticks in my craw is this. There were several hours between you sending me the message about your account and me waking up and responding, and you sat here and told me you haven't even really looked into it. See, if I was on the receiving end, even not even... What do you mean you haven't had time, Suzy? What time? You don't have a job. What is it that you've been doing?
You don't work. You're a deadbeat. What do you do?
For a lot of things. I've had to run errands or go to the store and stuff like that. I haven't really had the time.
Oh wow, very busy.
I'm sorry.
You haven't had 10 minutes? Because it doesn't take long to look it up. Now, if you had tried and they just... If you had tried and genuinely could not get it out, that's another matter altogether, but you didn't even try. That's what bothers me. Because if I were in your position, I'd be scrambling, frankly.
I think what Lio's getting at here is an underlying issue that we've kind of noticed looking into everything, and also with the Horus stuff, and also in this call, is that you have some kind of wildly fucked up priorities.
Yes, I do.
And
I'm not going to deny that.
You make a lot of assumptions off of stuff and run on those assumptions when you know you've been in several calls talking about how that's not the way to do things, yet you'll sit here and assume that the channel is better off deleted, so you're not going to do anything with it. Not bothering to run that by anyone.
Oh, that's it? That's all you could do? What the fuck?
I also find that it's very inconsistent to say that you kept certain things because of its memories. And you said you've had 14 years of memories from that channel and that you felt bad about it being deleted, but yet still you didn't have any compulsion or urgency, or as Lio said, scrambling to try to get it back despite you trying to say that it was important to you.
May I add something here?
Yes, but let's not
Sure,
belabor the
might
point.
as well.
We're getting long in the tooth on this specific topic, so please close it out.
I was just going to say, Suzy, how come you have more emotion about an account being transferred rather than me asking a question to you about whether you knew someone was vulnerable after their assault?
True. True.
Nothing else.
I've been... You guys are really not letting me answer here.
Yeah, you guys need to let her answer, like jumping immediately. I've warned you guys before, we're not doing that here. Knock it off.
Okay.
Anyway, as for the emotion, admittedly, it might be... do I have the voice changer on? That might be it. Because I...
Bro, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, a lot of people seem to think that I didn't show a lot of emotion in my videos up until I was at a breaking point. I was made aware of that. I think it was because of a Reddit post that I stumbled upon. The voice changer doesn't show emotion a lot, and I know it doesn't. But I have been sitting here kind of shaking a lot, trying to, not, well up in tears. Because I know the minute I start welling up in tears, nothing is going to get answered, nothing is going to get done. But I know sometimes the voice changer can...
You guys got to make sure I don't cry
muddy that.
and capitulate to my demands.
It's a non-point, because part of the issue is... Go ahead.
Suzy, I've used the same one as you. And...
I guess you're just more naturally emotive. But I have been shaking here trying not to break down. I don't know what you're trying to read into here, but I would appreciate it if you didn't.
Uh-huh.
I'm not putting priorities over whether or not the channel is more important than people's assault here. That's not what I'm doing.
My apologies then. It just read as that.
Oh, there we go.
Alright, can we move on from this point,
That's what
please?
I wanted to do. I wanted to test this out.
Yes.
Because I'm going to segue into something tangential, but not about this, because I'm kind of tired of talking about the account and yada yada yada. I am still going to ask you to please actually look into seeing if you can recover the doggone thing, because frankly it's been 24 hours now.
And I will see what I can do.
We'll see. Anyways, there is unfortunately a larger problem with that. The other day we pulled Space Guru into a call because we did notice a very particular pattern that happened in your server specifically. I want you to tell me, before she was outed in 2023 as a groomer, what did Rachel Kohai get excluded from the group for? What did you excommunicate her over?
She chose to excommunicate herself.
Okay, why?
She didn't like.
What would you guys?
I have no idea what this is about.
One, she didn't like Guru, so she left on that accord. And two, at the time, she was kind of dealing with her coming out, and I've not exactly been secretive about how not very supportive of that I was at the time.
Is my understanding that
Well,
she also
she
did a
didn't-
lot of backbiting behind the scenes. Is that accurate?
What? Oh my god, it's fucking loading in. Well, I mean, there's nothing else to like fucking whatchamacallit being added. I mean, that's basically it for Doodle, honestly. I mean, there's so much more, but I need to structure it in a fucking video because I want to go over this. I want to shit on this person. I want to like have like a good video out there to basically just be like, this is who this fucking person is. These are the controversies they got involved in, and this is why they deserve to never come back. So in the off chance that they decide to poke their head back out or people recognize their fucking voice, that video can at least be referred to, at least to some extent. Because what we have now is that we have like 40 fucking Okumu videos that you have to go through if you really want to truly understand how shitty this person is. Or you can watch either Cope and See or fucking Krista Nark's shit where they have like multi-hour plus long streams going over everything. It's just like there needs to be just one video that's just like boom, 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 boom. This is everything, right? And that's kind of what I want my video to be. And I'm not just gonna stop with DoodleTones. I'm probably gonna do one on fucking whatchamacallit. I'm probably gonna do a video on God, what was their fucking name, dude? It always escapes me. Toasty Vanilla. I'm probably gonna do one on Toasty Vanilla because that interview, dude, that fucking interview is like actually aggravating. It is actually agitating as fuck. And I just hate him. I just hate him. They're an awful person. And I'm surprised no one else is covering it. But anyways, I'm gonna get drunk. See ya.